Some hunters are the undisputed kings of their domain, while others are constantly fighting to keep their crown. In this video, you'll endure the brutal life of 14 top predators, starting with the first one, the tiger. You slide out of your mother and drop to the ground, somewhere in one of those regions. A few minutes later, your sister is born too. Neither of you can walk or see, so there's nothing to do but lie still and breathe. Skip forward 3 weeks. Your eyes open for the first time, and you finally start following your mother on unsteady legs. She leads you and your sister straight to the pool of water and lowers her head to drink. You copy her, lapping at the surface while your paws grip the mud. Then a shape rises in the water, a crocodile's head, small and young with its eyes fixed on you. Your mother gives a quick signal to back away and you step behind her. But she doesn't retreat. She turns to face the pool and holds her ground, baiting the crocodile closer. The crocodile takes the bait. It swims toward the edge with only its eyes and nose above water. Your mother steps backward once. The crocodile follows, hauling itself onto the bank. Out of the water, it's slower and less stable. She attacks the moment its body clears the edge. Her jaws clamp across its neck and she shakes hard. The young crocodile thrashes, but on land it can't roll or pull free, so she keeps shaking until the movement stops. Then she drags the body away from the water before feeding. You stand a few steps back, staring at the bite that ended the fight in seconds. Threats come from the water, and you'll have to learn to answer them, so you watch and learn. You're 6 months old now. Your legs started working properly, and you can keep up with your mother and sister as she moves through the forest. One morning, she crouches in tall grass, staring at a herd of deers. You and your sister drop low and copy her. Every step has to be quiet. You crawl forward, but your paw snaps a twig. The herd bolts at once with hooves pounding the ground as they vanish into the trees. The hunt ends before it even begins. Your mother growls at you. You freeze, understanding what it means. Later in the day, you find smaller prey on your own. A jungle fowl scratches through leaves, looking for insects. You crouch and prepare to strike, but then rush too early. Your claws swipe through air, but the bird stumbles. You pounce again and pin it, clamping down until it goes still. The kill is messy, but it works. You drag it to your mother and drop it at her feet. But she doesn't eat it. Instead, she lets you keep it. The first prey you caught is yours. As the sun drops, you hear movement in the bushes and lunge, expecting another meal. But instead of a bird, it's a porcupine. You slam down on its back and pain shoots up your paw. Dozens of quills stab deep, and you leap back yelping. The animal trundles away slowly, leaving you bleeding in the dirt. Your mother holds you down and begins pulling quills out with her teeth. Each one rips free with a sting that makes you snarl, but she doesn't stop until your paw is clear. Today taught you 2 things. Small prey can feed you, but it can also kill you. Skip forward and you're 1 year old now. The baby fat is gone, your shoulders are broad, and you live only on meat. Most days you and your sister play fight, but now the fights are different. The bites are harder, and sometimes you feel like one of you could be killed if it goes too far. One evening she pins you, her teeth closing around your neck, and for a moment it feels real. Then your mother charges in, slamming both of you apart with a snarl. You back off instantly, but the message is clear. You and your sister are no longer cubs. You are rivals in training, and for the first time you feel a spark of dislike toward her. Later, you wander farther from the den than usual. A sloth bear is digging at a mound of termites, tearing through the soil with its long claws. To you, it looks like prey, so you crouch low and creep forward. But the bear hears you. It turns suddenly and charges. It moves much faster than you expected. The full weight slams into your side, knocking you flat, and the claws scrape across your ribs, cutting deep. You snarl and kick, but it pins you to the ground. The bear rears up and swipes again, this time for your head. You twist just in time, but its claws tear your shoulder and its teeth snap inches from your neck. Before the killing blow lands, your sister bursts from the bushes. She leaps onto the bear's back and bites hard into its ear. The bear roars and throws her aside, but the distraction is enough. You scramble free, staggering back with blood dripping from your side. Then, your mother arrives and charges headfirst into the bear. The impact drives it back, and after a few tense seconds, the sloth bear retreats into the trees. That night, you lick your wounds beside a fresh carcass your mother killed. Your sister eats first while you wait, humbled and still sore. You're 2 years old now. Your mother begins leaving you behind when she hunts. She takes your sister but not you, growling if you try to follow. One evening, you push too close and she swipes across your face. The strike doesn't land deep, but the message does. You're no longer part of her care. Days later, her scent trail fades from the forest. She's gone with your sister, and you're left alone. Now survival depends only on what you can kill. Hunger drives you to stalk a young deer grazing at the edge of the clearing. You crouch low, holding steady the way your mother taught you. You creep forward, each paw careful in the grass. When you jump, your jaws clamp the neck. But you don't have the weight to finish it. The deer kicks hard, slamming you sideways. The hooves strike your ribs and knock the air out of you before it bolts into the trees. You lie in the dirt, gasping for air. The truth is clear, your strength isn't enough yet. Later, the smell of blood pulls you deeper into the forest. You find a half-eaten boar, most likely left behind by a larger predator. You drag it into cover, tearing into the flesh as fast as you can, but the ground shakes with a A rival male emerges. He's huge and his body is covered in scars. His eyes lock onto you. You growl and swipe once, but he doesn't stop. He charges full force. You let go of the meat and sprint, trying to get away before he can kill you. You run until you think you're far enough, then slow down with your ribs aching and blood on your side. Your stomach is still empty and your body weak. Out here, no one will protect you. You have to stand on business or you'll die. You're 3 years old now. You've been wandering forests you've never seen before. You're thin from missed hunts, but still alive. At a stream, you hear noise ahead. A pack of wild dogs has cornered a spotted deer. A single dog means nothing to a tiger, but in numbers, they're dangerous. The deer panics and stumbles into the water. The pack rushes forward, biting at its legs, trying to drag it under. You crouch low in the bushes and watch. If you jump now, they'll swarm you from all sides. So you wait, letting them burn their energy. Minutes pass and the deer weakens, slipping in the shallow water. That's when you step out. You roar at the top of your lungs. The dogs scatter back in shock, their circle breaking wide. But they don't run far. The wild dogs regroup fast. They spread out around you, snapping at your sides and cutting off escape. You don't rush in. Instead, you back slowly into the water, keeping the deer between you and them. The dogs hesitate. Swimming slows them, and they know it. One runs close. You slash with your paw and send it rolling back bleeding. The others stop. That's your chance. You clamp your jaws on the deer's neck and drag it up the bank. The pack tries again, snapping from the edges, but you swing the body sideways and block them. You snap your jaws and hold your ground. They hesitate, then back off. For the first time since exile, the kill is yours. You eat until your stomach is full. You stood on business here and it worked. You're 5 years old now. At the edge of a clearing, you spot a female tiger. She sprays urine on a tree trunk, a signal that she's ready to mate. You step forward, but another male appears from the opposite side. His eyes lock on you. The female crouches low and waits. Only one of you will claim her, and the ground she controls. The rival growls and lashes his tail. Instead of charging, you stay still. For a moment, he hesitates, confused why you don't move. Then you open your mouth and roar. The sound carries through the forest, a warning that if he pushes forward, the fight will cost him everything. He bares his teeth, but doesn't commit. The risk is too high. He turns and backs into the trees, leaving you standing over the clearing. The female stays where she is. When you approach, she doesn't run. She accepts you, and for the first time, you mate. Over the next days, you mark the forest. Your claws cut deep into tree trunks, leaving visible scars, and you spray urine on trails and rocks. But as you pace your borders, you walk closer to danger without thinking. You believe nothing can touch you anymore. It's only a flicker of arrogance now, but it will matter later. Skip forward again and you're 10 years old now. You still control the same ground. No other male dares to challenge you directly. But ruling takes strength, and the strongest prey carries the most risk. Today you stalk a wild buffalo grazing near water. Buffalo are heavier than deer or boar. One kick can break bones, and their horns can rip a tiger open. But the reward is huge. A buffalo kill can feed you for days. You crouch low in the grass and inch closer. The buffalo lowers its head to feed, unaware of you. You launch forward, claws digging into its back. Your jaws clamp tight around its neck. The buffalo bellows and thrashes, dragging you through the mud as it tries to shake you off. It slams sideways and rams you against a tree. The impact knocks the air from your chest, but you don't let go. You dig in deeper, choking it with your weight, and after a long struggle, the buffalo collapses. You finish it quickly, but your side is torn open from the horns. Blood runs down your ribs. Every breath causes a sharp pain. Before you can rest, a leopard bursts from the trees. Leopards rarely risk tigers, but this one smells weakness. It growls and snaps, trying to scare you from the carcass, so you lash out, slamming it into the ground. It scrambles free, limping into the bush, leaving you alone with your kill. The buffalo is yours. The land is still yours too. But when you stand, every step burns. The wound will never close fully. You're 12 years old now. The wound from the buffalo fight never healed, and every hunt has been harder since. Missed kills mean more days hungry, and weakness grows with each empty stomach. Today feels like a gift. At the edge of the trees, you spot a young deer standing alone. Without a herd for protection, it looks lost and vulnerable. Easy prey for a tiger. You crouch low and creep forward, each step careful in the grass. The deer doesn't notice. You launch, landing square on its back. The impact drives it to its knees. For a moment, it feels like the kill is already yours. But instead of falling, the deer surges up with a violent kick. Its antlers slam backward into your chest. The points pierce deep, tearing through muscle. You snarl and claw, but your strength drains instantly. The deer shakes you loose. You hit the ground, bleeding into the dirt while it bolts into the forest, leaving you behind. You try to stand up, but your body doesn't respond. Blood pours from the wound, soaking the grass beneath you. After years of ruling this land, the end comes quickly. Not from a rival, not from hunters, but from prey that didn't act the way you expected. That was the tiger. Next is the Greenland shark. You are born in a cold so paralyzing that moving too fast can kill you. You hatch inside your mother, fully formed and already moving before you ever touch the ocean. A short while later, she releases you and 9 others into the deep. And the moment you're out, you begin to drift apart, each of you floating in your own direction. Once the last one is gone, your mother turns and leaves without even pausing or looking back to see if you're all okay. The water is close to freezing, but your body stays warm. You're not built like other fish. There are chemicals in your skin that stop the cold from breaking you down. You move slowly through the dark. Your body isn't built for speed, and there's nothing around that pushes you to go faster. You're in no danger, but you're not safe either. You exist somewhere in between, and that's where you'll stay. For a long time, nothing around you moves. You hold your place in the water, and the world around you acts like you're not even there. Your siblings are no longer in sight, and even though you remember their shapes beside you, there's no instinct that tells you to follow. Eventually, something larger drifts overhead, and without thinking, you stop moving. It doesn't turn or react, and soon it disappears into the dark like it was never there. You wait a little longer, just to be sure nothing else is coming. Then you start moving again. Not toward anything, just away from where you were. You haven't eaten yet, but down here, something always dies eventually. You're a few weeks old now, drifting lower into the water until the surface is far above you and the light no longer reaches. You stay around 500 meters deep, where almost nothing moves quickly and almost nothing wastes energy. Your body temperature is close to freezing, and your metabolism is slower than almost any other predator on the planet. You don't burn fuel quickly. You don't need constant meals. You can go months without eating if you have to, and nothing inside you will panic. Eventually, you find something, a small fish, already dead, drifting downward through the water in a slow spiral. It's soft, and too old for anything living near the surface to bother with anymore. You move toward it, jaws slightly open, ready to bite. Then you feel it, a low movement beside you. It's another shark, smaller than you, but not by much. It's one of your siblings, though you don't recognize it. You drift slightly closer, and so do they. The fish spins between you both, and you match angles, silently shadowing each other. Then you both lunge. Your heads clash mid-water, not hard enough to injure, but enough to knock each other off course. The fish spins away, carried by the current, and by the time you recover, it's already disappeared into the dark. The other shark drifts back into the murk without hesitation. So do you. Down here, this is how it works. Nothing stays alive for long, and not everything dead gets eaten. You haven't seen anything bigger than you yet, but eventually, something will show up that wants the same meal. You're a couple of months old now, and something has changed. Small crustaceans have attached themselves to your eyes, latching on tightly and refusing to let go. They don't kill you, but they've blocked your vision almost completely. The longer they stay, the worse it gets, and eventually, you go blind. But that doesn't matter. You don't need your eyes to find food. You've never relied on movement or light to track anything down. Your sense of smell is enough to pull you across the seafloor, and your skin picks up faint electrical signals from nearby animals when they come close. Then one day, while you're swimming next to the seafloor looking for food, something shifts. A strange vibration moves through the water. You turn toward it, not because you're hunting, but because it doesn't match anything you've sensed before. It doesn't glide like a fish, and it doesn't stalk like a predator. It's metal. At first, it drifts slowly past. You stay still, tracking the buzz as it fades into the distance. Then it turns. The water around you begins to move. Not like a current. It's more focused and more directed. It's following you. You shift your path, but the pressure behind you stays constant, and the hum grows even louder. You sink a little deeper, but the thing mirrors you. It doesn't breathe and it doesn't pulse, but it moves like it's watching you. You angle downward, pushing yourself into thicker water, and after a long moment the hum begins to fade again. The pressure softens, and then the sound disperses. You don't know what it was, but it didn't feel like prey, and it didn't feel like something that should be here. Skip forward a bit, and you're a couple of years old now. You've grown only a few centimeters, just 1 per year, because that's the pace your body moves at. One day, a new scent reaches you. It's thick, unfamiliar, and far stronger than anything you've detected before. You follow it slowly, not out of hunger, but because it stands out in a way that's impossible to ignore. The current moves around you, carrying pieces of the smell in different directions, but they all point the same way. The scent gets stronger the closer you get, and eventually a shape starts to form ahead of you. It's not anything you've seen before. Bloated, heavy, and sinking slowly. The body turns in the current as it falls. You don't know what a moose is, but that's what this is now. Smaller scavengers are already there, clustered along the edges. They've started feeding, but none of them are large enough to take more than the surface. As you move closer, they scatter without resistance. You open your jaws and sink your teeth into the thickest part of the body. The flesh is tougher than fish, but it gives way eventually, and you drift backward to swallow before circling again. Then, something wraps around your tail. It's fast, and it moves without warning. A sharp pain follows as something digs into your flesh. Not a bite, but a stab. You twist violently and the grip loosens. You catch a glimpse of it as it retreats. It's a shape with arms and no bones, a flash of long tentacles, and a dark, waiting eye. It's a squid. It doesn't chase you. It curls back around the carcass and disappears behind the body. You back away slowly, keeping the wound on your side away from the current. You don't fight back. You sink lower into the dark and keep moving. You don't know what else might fall from the surface, but next time you will make sure that no one steals it from you. You're 50 years old now. You've grown half a meter since birth, and your body has thickened with time. A strong scent drifts through the water, and you follow it down. It gets heavier with every meter until eventually the source comes into view. It's a sperm whale, lying on the seafloor with its mouth slightly open. You watch it for a while, slowly circling around it. It doesn't move, so you approach from below, keeping your pace steady. The body is large enough to feed you for days, and there's no sign that anything else has touched it yet. You reach the lower side of the belly and bite down. The skin resists at first, but tears when your teeth lock and twist. You pull free a chunk of soft flesh and drift back to swallow, already turning to take another. Then the body moves. The tail lifts slightly and drops again, while a faint contraction moves through the muscles beneath the skin. The mouth closes slowly, and its eyes open. It's not dead, it was just sleeping. You turn to leave, but it's already too late. The whale moves, turning through the water with enough force to shift the current around you. The tail swings in a wide arc and strikes your side, and although the impact doesn't break anything, it sends your body flying across the seafloor. You correct your position, but the whale is already preparing to strike again. And this time you see the tail cut across just behind your head. The force alone disrupts the water around your body and drags you sideways again. You don't wait for a third strike. You angle upward and begin to ascend, pushing yourself into the higher layer of current. Your body is heavy, and it moves slowly, but it moves consistently. The whale follows for a couple of minutes, but after a while, the movement behind you stops. The pain settles in gradually, tracing a long line across your side that will stay with you for a long time. You don't stop because there's nothing to wait for. You managed to survive this time, but next time, you'll have to be more careful. You're 150 years old now, and your body has finally reached maturity. You are ready to reproduce. You keep drifting forward through the cold, just as you always have, and nothing in your path suggests that anything will be different. Then a new signal brushes against your skin. It's a soft pattern of electrical pulses that moves through the current. You follow it without hesitation, because something in your body responds before anything else can. Eventually, you detect movement ahead. It's slow and follows no clear direction. It's another Greenland shark, the first you've encountered in 100 years. It doesn't acknowledge you, and it doesn't move away. It just continues through the water, keeping its own pace, not faster than you, and not slower either. You stay beside it for a while, then you take your chance and mate. The process is simple and short, and once it's done, the shark in front of you begins to drift away. You don't follow it. The connection is over, and there is no reason to stay near each other. You turn in the opposite direction and continue forward through the current. There will be no offspring nearby, and no sign of what took place. You don't know when you'll encounter another of your kind again, but somewhere, one of them will carry what you've left behind. Skip forward a bit, and you're 250 years old now. While you're swimming, as usual, something catches your attention. You detect a scent. It cuts cleanly through the current, thick with fresh blood. You shift your path and begin to close in, letting the trail guide you downward through the colder layer. The body of a dead seal appears a few minutes later. Some of the tissue is torn, but it hasn't been picked over yet. A 6-gill shark is already circling, smaller than you but much faster. Its turns are tight and sharp, cutting closer with each pass. You adjust your angle and approach the other side of the carcass, staying clear and aiming for the softest part of the exposed muscle. You don't look at the 6-gill, and you don't change direction, but it moves in anyway. Its strike is sudden. Jaws open, body twisting sideways, it tears across your side and veers off before you react. The cut is deep enough to throw off your balance, and your body tilts as you pull away from the kill. But this time, you strike back. As it turns for a second pass, you twist and lunge. Your jaws catch its side just behind the gills. Your teeth sink in and tear a long, ragged wound as it thrashes free. It bolts into the dark, trailing a thick line of blood behind it. You don't chase it. You're still bleeding, and the wound on your side hurts with every movement. You swim down into deeper water, away from the feeding zone, and into a colder, thicker space. You settle between 2 slabs of rock and wait. The bleeding slows over several hours. You stay there until the wound is mostly healed and your movement feels steady again. When you leave, you don't return to the kill. This wound will close, but the next one could go deeper. You're 400 years old now, and the water feels the same as it always has. You follow a familiar current along the seafloor, keeping steady as the flow begins to shift slightly. Something ahead is moving fast enough to disturb the pattern, but not enough to trigger alarm. You change your path slightly and continue forward. Then the pressure changes. The first strike hits from below and lifts your body just enough to tilt you sideways. Before you adjust, a second impact spins you over and leaves you inverted. You try to correct your position, but the response never comes. The orientation disables your movement, and the water begins pulling at you from every side. Another hit drives into your side, followed by a deep bite that opens your underside. You try to move again, but nothing happens. More bodies close in from different angles. Their movements are faster than anything you've encountered before. One takes your pectoral fin, another clamps across your jaw and pulls. Your skin splits, blood spreads through the water, but your body no longer reacts. You don't struggle, just slowly progress towards stillness. The killer whales leave as quickly as they arrived. They take what they need and leave the rest to sink. After 4 centuries of motion, feeding, and quiet survival, your body stops where the current drops it. It won't be buried and it won't be remembered, but others will pass by eventually, and they'll take their share too. That was the Greenland shark. Next is the brown bear. Your first danger begins the moment you leave the den, stalked by a pack of wolves. You wake up. Well, not really. You're born, but that's just another way of saying you're suddenly here, crammed into a dark, warm den with your siblings, squirming around like oversized hamsters. Your mom hasn't eaten in months, yet here she is, feeding and keeping you alive with whatever strength she's got left. You're blind, helpless, and unaware that the forest outside would chew you up and spit you out if given half a chance. For weeks, life is simple. You squeak, you sleep, but winter doesn't last forever, and neither does this cozy setup. One day, your mom decides it's time. She claws open the den, light floods in, and you're dragged into the blinding brightness of spring. The world is big, loud, and smells like 1,000 things you don't understand. Trees loom overhead, snow melts underfoot, and your siblings tumble around like drunks on a dance floor. You realize quickly that you're small, weak, and very, very edible. Your mom's job isn't to make you feel safe, it's to make you strong. From day one, she's teaching you what it takes to survive, and the lessons aren't subtle. She smells danger before you do, hears threats you can't even imagine. One afternoon, while you're walking around chewing on a twig, she freezes. Her head snaps up, nostrils flaring, and then you hear it, a low, guttural growl. Wolves. They jump out of the bushes, foaming out of their mouth, their eyes locked on you and your siblings. You're too scared to move, but Mom, she moves like a landslide. She rears up, roars so loud it shakes the trees, and charges. The wolves don't back away. They're hungry, but she doesn't give them a choice. Her claws flash, blood sprays, and one of them goes down. The others hesitate just long enough for her to send them running. She returns to you, panting, fur matted with blood, and nudges you back towards safety. It's not a tender moment, it's a warning. Pay attention, or next time you'll be the one bleeding out in the dirt. By summer, you're starting to figure things out. You watch Mom dig up roots, rip apart logs for insects, and dive into rivers to snatch salmon with terrifying precision. You try to imitate her, but it's a process. Your first attempt at fishing ends with you face first in the river, splashing around like an idiot while the fish swim away unbothered. Mom just stands on the side, probably wondering how she gave birth to something this pathetic. The forest doesn't wait for you to catch up. It's cruel, fast, and indifferent, and if you want to survive, you'd better keep up. Your first kill comes on a hot summer day when the air buzzes with insects and the rivers run low. You're nosing around a berry bush when something small and furry darts out. A rabbit. Instinct takes over, you pounce, claws swiping and pin it to the ground. For a moment, it squeals, its bones break under your weight, and you freeze. You weren't expecting it to fight back. But then you remember Mom's growl, her unrelenting force, and you bite down. It stops moving. You've done it. Your first kill. It's messy, brutal, and nothing like the clean, effortless hunts you've watched your mother pull off. But it's yours. That taste of blood sticks with you. You start paying attention, watching the way Mom moves, the way she stalks and strikes with precision. You learn fast because you have to. The forest is a hunting ground, but it's also a battlefield. Every meal is a risk, and the line between predator and prey is razor thin. By the time your second year rolls around, you're bigger, stronger, and starting to feel like you own the forest. You're wrong, of course, but that's not the point. You've seen the dangers. Wolves, humans, even bigger bears, but you're starting to think you can handle them. And then you meet him. It's late spring, and the salmon are running. You and Mom are fishing by the river when he appears. He's massive. You freeze, but Mom doesn't. She steps forward, roaring a challenge that shakes the air. The stranger doesn't flinch. He charges. The fight is chaos. They slam into each other like freight trains. For a moment, you think Mom might lose. But then she gets him. A single swipe of her claws rakes across his face, and he stumbles back. She doesn't give him a chance to recover. With a roar, she lunges, and he retreats, limping into the trees. Mom stands there, panting, blood dripping from her fur, and you realize something. This forest doesn't belong to the biggest bear. It belongs to the one who refuses to die. One day, Mom just doesn't come back. No speech, no heartfelt goodbye, not even a grunt to let you know she's leaving. She's gone, and so is the safety net you didn't realize you had. It hits you fast. You're alone, and the forest feels bigger, darker, and way more interested in eating you than before. The first few weeks are a crash course in how bad you are at this whole independent survival thing. You stumble around, misjudge threats, and almost become a meal for a pack of wolves who seemed way too happy to see you. By the time you escape with your fur intact, you realize why most cubs don't make it to adulthood. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to end up as a pile of bear-flavored leftovers than a full-grown predator. Your first big win comes when you stumble across a deer carcass, still fresh, with steam rising from it. Your stomach growls so loud it might as well have announced your arrival. You dive in, tearing at the meat like you haven't eaten in weeks. You haven't, by the way. Blood drips down your mouth, and for a moment you think you're finally catching a break. Then you hear it, the snap of twigs behind you. You freeze mid-bite. Another bear. Great. He's smaller than Mom's last challenger, but bigger than you, and judging by his expression, he's not here to offer you a dinner invitation. He charges, and you don't even try to fight. You run, crashing through the underbrush. You're fast, faster than him. And when you finally stop, you realize two things. 1. You're still hungry. 2. The forest doesn't care how empty your stomach is. If you want to eat, you'd better be ready to bleed for it. By your 4th year, the tables have turned. You're no longer the scrawny cub running from every shadow. At 700 pounds, with claws sharp enough to carve your name into a tree and muscles built from years of fighting and hunting, you've earned your place at the top. Smaller predators steer clear, and even other bears think twice before crossing your path. You've graduated from snack to don't mess with that guy. One afternoon, while patrolling your territory, you catch the scent of blood. You follow it to a clearing and find a younger bear, maybe 2 years old, digging into a fresh carcass. He freezes when he sees you, wide-eyed and clearly debating his options. For a moment, you just stare at him, both of you weighing the odds. He makes the smart choice. He turns and runs into the trees, leaving the carcass behind. You don't bother chasing. What's the point? The food is yours now. And as you tear into it, you realize something. You've become the bear you used to run from. The forest doesn't challenge you anymore. It respects you, or at least knows better than to get in your way. Years pass, and the forest starts to feel different. Your once powerful body doesn't move like it used to, and the fights you used to dominate now leave you limping for days. The younger bears are getting bolder, testing you more often, and while you still win, it's starting to feel more like survival than victory. One day, after a particularly rough fight, you catch yourself retreating instead of pressing forward. That's when it hits you. The forest doesn't see you as untouchable anymore. You've still got your scars, your strength, and your pride, but the cracks are starting to show. The forest has no patience for weakness, it just waits for you to fall behind. As the first snow of winter falls, you retreat to an old den, one you haven't used in years. It feels smaller now, quieter. You curl up inside, your breath slowing as the cold settles in around you. You've fought, hunted, and ruled for longer than most, but the forest doesn't mourn its kings. It just waits for the next one to take the throne. That was the brown bear. Next is the hyena. You are born with a full jaw and immediately fight your own sibling to the death. You slide out of your mother's narrow tube and land hard on the ground. She turns and licks you clean. Your eyes are open, and all of your teeth are already intact since birth. Then comes the second pup, your brother. As soon as he raises his head, you lunge. You snap your jaw and lock your teeth on his neck. Your mother doesn't interfere, she just watches. He laughs as you bite deeper into his body. You twist and feel his strength fade slowly, until he doesn't move again. When it's over, your mother leans down and nudges you like nothing happened. You position yourself against her belly and feed. Then she picks you up and carries you to a den. She leaves at night to hunt and returns by the morning with blood on her neck and fresh milk in her stomach. You wait at the entrance, observing everything that moves. One day, another curious female approaches the den. She steps forward, but your mother doesn't let her near. She makes a loud, high-pitched sound from her throat and lunges at the stranger, chasing her off before she even reaches the opening. But eventually, your time alone ends. Your mom picks you up by the scruff and carries you out. Past the rocks, across the grass, into a larger den that's filled with movement. Dozens of cubs scramble over one another, all under the age of 1. Mom puts you down on the ground, and instantly one approaches. He playfully rears up to test you, not trying to harm you. You meet him head on and he stumbles backwards as your skulls collide. This is where you'll stay from now on. This is where you'll learn who eats first, who to avoid, and how much you can take. Then, 5 weeks later, you smell a faint scent of meat before you can even see it. A haunch of something fresh, dragged in by a high-ranking female. You sprint over, but when you beg, she snaps at your face. So you step back with your heart pounding. That's how you learn. Here, only your mother will feed you. You fight for scraps, test your jaw on bones, swipe food from smaller pups. Your coat lightens as spots start spreading across your back. By 8 months, you no longer wait at the den. You follow your mother out instead, into the plains, beneath the moon, toward the scent of blood and bone. Skip forward a bit, and you're 9 months old when your mother stops hunting alone. She stands in front of you, just waiting. So you follow her without thinking. You walk for hours under the sun, past dry thorn trees and cracked riverbeds. Then, she suddenly stops and lowers her body. You drop beside her and do the same. She waits, and so do you. You spot a motion. Something small darts ahead. It's a young reedbuck. She takes off and you follow, but it's too fast. You can't catch it. You're not even close. You flank left, stumbling through the grass. The buck turns to avoid you and slips. That's all it takes. The older females close in. One bites the leg while the other takes the throat, and it dies in seconds. You stay back because your mother eats first, then the others. And when they're done, you get what's left. A chunk of spine, some gristle, and a strip of skin with hair still on it. You don't complain, you eat it all. Then, a week later, she takes you out to hunt again, just the two of you. You stay low behind her as she moves through the grass. Up ahead, a small warthog grazes alone. It doesn't see her. She crouches, then breaks into a run. You chase after her with your legs struggling to keep up. The warthog hears too late. It bolts and zigzags, but your mother cuts it off. She lunges and clamps down behind its shoulder. It squeals and kicks, but she doesn't let go. You reach them just as the warthog goes still. She steps aside and you move in and tear at the soft belly, biting through skin for the first time. It's warm and heavy, nothing like milk. This was actually the peak of your life. From now on, it's going to get much worse. You're 2 years old when everything changes. Your mother stops waiting for you. She doesn't call. She doesn't look back. One morning, she walks off and doesn't return. So you leave too. You don't have a plan. You just walk. Past the old den, through dry brush, away from every scent that meant safety. By nightfall, you've crossed into another clan's land. They see you right away, but no one attacks. Not yet. You keep your head low and your ears tucked. You show your belly to cubs half your size, because it doesn't matter who you were before. Here, you're nothing. You follow behind the others at a distance, never too close. You don't eat first or second or at all most days. You wait for scraps, and sometimes you get lucky and they let you have them, but most of the time they don't. At night, they sleep together in a tangled pile. You find a patch of dirt away from the group and curl up alone. The other males are older and higher up in the hierarchy. They've been here longer than you, and that's all that matters. They feed before you, mate before you, and even get groomed before you. You're not even part of the group yet. You're just a shadow following behind. One day, you find a stripped bone by the edge of camp. You drop beside it, ready to chew what's left when a younger female walks up. She stares at it, and you hesitate. Then you let out a soft, uncertain growl, but she lunges before you even finish the sound. Her teeth slice your face, and she throws you down. You don't fight. You just wait for it to be over. When she finally leaves, you don't move right away. You stand still, watching her walk back to the group. This is how your new, miserable life starts. 1 year later, you're still at the bottom, but you've learned how to survive. One morning, the group moves. 2 females in front with another male beside them. You follow behind like always, not expecting anything. But then something runs. It's a rabbit moving fast through the grass. The females start chasing it. You run too, not because you think you'll catch it, but because your legs move before you think. The hare darts right, then left, and the others veer off to cut it off. You cut through the middle, crashing through the bushes, and come out ahead. The rabbit is already turning when your jaws close around its spine. You bite down hard. It kicks once, then goes still. You hold it down until the others arrive. Then you back off without a sound and let them take it. That's the rule, but they all saw what happened. Later that night, while the group settles down, one of the females comes near you. Not close enough to touch, but close enough that you know it's not an accident. The next few nights, you keep near her. She doesn't growl and doesn't chase you off, so you groom her when she stops walking. Then one morning, she slows down. She moves her body and lifts her tail. You drop your head, ease to the side, and mount gently from behind. A few minutes later, it's done. She walks away without looking back, and you don't follow. No one says anything, and no one moves you up the hierarchy. You don't think about her again, and you won't care about your offspring, even if they survive. That's not your role. The female won't let you near them when they're born. She'll raise them without you, protect them without you, and if they ask who their father was, she won't know either. Because she'll do this again with every male in the group. The more she mates, the better her odds. That's just how it works, and you don't take it personally. Skip forward a bit, and you're 5 years old now. Over the past few months, you've been introduced to stealing food from lions. It's how you've managed to survive this long without hunting every night. Lions do the hard work, and you just show up after. It usually happens near water. You smell blood in the air, follow the trail, and find a half-eaten carcass with a lioness still chewing on it. If you come alone, she chases you off, but if there's 5 or 6 of you, she leaves. She snarls, swings a paw, maybe snaps once, but she knows she's outnumbered. Sometimes you catch her just as she's finishing the kill. Other times, you come for the scraps. It doesn't matter what it is. If it fills your gut, it's worth it. But today, you get overconfident. You smell the kill before you see it. It's fresh. The air is thick with the scent. You're with 4 others, not many but enough to cause some trouble. You move in together slowly like you always do. You expect another lioness, maybe a few cubs nearby. But you're wrong. This time, it's a full-grown male. Old and big with his mane soaked in blood. He's crouched beside the kill, a wildebeest torn open at the gut. One of your group gives a whoop sound. That's the signal. You spread out, one flanks right, another moves to the rear. The lion still doesn't move. You think he's tired or maybe injured. Then one of the younger males lunges in, and the lion explodes. One paw swings wide and hits the hyena straight across the skull. You hear the crunch from where you're standing. The body drops and doesn't move again. You don't wait. You run. You hear heavy steps behind you closing in fast. The ground shakes with each stride. You know he's chasing you. Then it happens, a loud scream coming from behind. You glance back and spot one of the females down. She tripped, and the lion is already on her. His front paw is pinning her spine. He bites into the back of her neck and she goes limp almost instantly. Her legs twitch once, then stop moving. He doesn't chase anyone else. That's what saved you. You keep running until your breath gives out and your legs can't hold your weight. When you finally return to the group, they don't look at you. The kill is gone and so are 2 of the others. That night you go hungry, but you're alive, and that's enough. A few months later, all the females start moving toward a noise in the distance. You follow them because they forced you to. You don't know what it is at first. Then you see the other clan. They're spread out across the hills, standing tall. This isn't a hunt. It's a fight for territory. One of the females gives a long whooping call, and that's all it takes. The two sides charge. You hit a male head-on, and both of you go down. You sink your teeth into his shoulder while he snaps at your neck. You twist and bite again. Then something rips behind you. You turn, and pain explodes down your back. A female from the other side has you by the tail. You scream and kick, but she's already ripping backward. One sharp tug and half your tail tears off. You spin to attack, but she's already gone. You stumble away, bleeding and half blind when another hyena charges at you. This one's young. You bluff a snap and he backs off. You don't chase it because you're not here to win. You're here to survive. All around you, the ground is chaos. Dust, claws, blood. Your ears ring. Then a body slams into your side and you hit the dirt again. This time it's one of yours. She limps off, trailing blood from her thigh. Everyone is covered in wounds. That's when you see her, your leader. She's pushing through the fighting, eyes locked on one target, the rival leader. They circle each other in silence and clash shortly after. Both bite and miss. Then your leader ducks low, feints left, and rams her shoulder under the rival's chest. The other stumbles. That's all she needs. She lunges and clamps down hard on the neck. You hear the crunch. The rival matriarch's legs kick once, then stop moving. The males on their side run first. You see them peel off in every direction. The others follow. Even the females that are still standing make a run for it. You don't chase anyone, though. You just breathe. Some hyenas from your group drag others by the scruff. Some don't get up at all. But the line holds, and you've proven that the ground belongs to you. Skip forward, and you're 6.5 years old now. That's old for a hyena. Most of the ones you grew up with are already gone, but somehow, you're still here. You wake with the rest of the group, but no one greets you. They walk past like you're not there, so you leave early. You walk to the waterhole alone. The heat rises off the ground. Your joints ache more than they used to, but the path is familiar. There's no rival scent nearby, so you lower your head and drink. The water is still and cold. It's tasted the same your entire life, but then, something moves. A wall of muscle explodes from beneath. Jaws clamp your chest and pull you under before you can even gasp. You don't scream. You just disappear into the mud. The ripples fade, the blood spreads, and the others drink beside it like nothing happened. That was the hyena. Now meet the honey badger. Your first meal is a forced, venomous lesson in fearless endurance. You're born underground. In a burrow your mom didn't bother digging herself. The first thing you hear is your own squeaking, which doesn't exactly sound intimidating, but don't worry, you'll grow into your attitude soon enough. For now, you're blind, bald, and hungry, with no idea how much of a headache the world is about to become for you, or how much of a headache you'll become for the world. Mom, for her part, doesn't have time for soft moments. She's busy warding off anything that thinks this burrow looks inviting. You're too small to notice her snarling at predators twice her size, but if you could, you'd probably take notes. At this stage, life is simple. You eat, sleep, and occasionally try to bite your mom's tail when she's not looking. It's not a bad setup, but in a few months, things are going to change. By the time you're a few months old, you're starting to tag along with Mom on her daily rounds. She doesn't explain what's happening. You're expected to figure it out on your own. Your first lesson? Bees. Lots of bees. She leads you to a hive and starts ripping it apart like she's owed money. You hang back, mostly because the noise is terrifying, but also because the bees look mad. They swarm her, stinging her face, her paws, her everything, but she doesn't flinch. Why? Because she knows what's inside. Honey and bee larvae. That's the good stuff. Eventually, she grunts at you, which is the honey badger equivalent of saying, "Your turn." You edge closer, swipe at the hive, and immediately regret your life choices when a bee stings your nose. You yelp, fall over, and scramble back. Mom doesn't help. She just keeps eating, like this is all part of the process. And maybe it is. Over time, you get the hang of it. By get the hang of it, I mean you stop crying when the bees sting you and start focusing on the reward. It's not exactly fun, but it's effective. You're learning one of the most important rules of honey badger life. Pain is temporary. Snacks are forever. By 6 months, you're starting to venture out on your own. Mom still keeps an eye on you, but she's giving you more space to make mistakes. And mistakes, it turns out, are plentiful. Your first attempt at hunting is laughable. You spot a scorpion and decide it looks slow enough to catch. It isn't. It dodges, stings you on the paw, and scuttles away while you roll around in frustration. The sting doesn't kill you. Honey badgers are famously hard to poison, but it stings enough to make you rethink your approach. Your second attempt is slightly better. This time you go for a lizard sunbathing on a rock. You crouch, wait, and then pounce. The lizard darts away, but you manage to grab its tail. It thrashes, you thrash harder, and somehow, you end up with your first successful kill. It's not much, but it's enough to make you feel invincible. Spoiler, you're not. At about a year old, Mom decides she's done babysitting. One day, she's just gone, leaving you standing in the middle of the savannah with no backup plan. Welcome to independence. Your first solo days are a mix of wins and disasters. You've learned how to scavenge, so you manage to scrape together meals here and there, small mammals, eggs, and the occasional insect. But you've also learned the hard way that not every fight is worth picking. A particularly bad run-in with a porcupine leaves you limping for days, your pride as bruised as your paw. Slowly, though, you find your rhythm. You stop charging at everything that moves and start figuring out which prey is worth the effort. Scorpions? Sure. Snakes? Absolutely. They're full of protein and, more importantly, don't scare you. Venom? You laugh at venom. Well, not laugh exactly, but you shrug it off like it's a mild inconvenience. One cobra bite later, and you're snoozing under a tree, letting your immune system handle the details. By 2 years old, you've built a reputation that even the savannah's big players respect. You're not exactly a heavyweight. Most predators outweigh you 10 times over. But what you lack in size, you more than make up for in attitude. Lions, leopards, hyenas, they've all learned one important lesson. Messing with you isn't worth the headache. You might not win every fight, but you don't fight to win. You fight to make it unbearable for everyone involved. Take that time you stumbled upon a leopard guarding a fresh kill. Any sensible animal would have walked away. After all, leopards don't share. You, however, looked at the leopard, then looked at the kill, and decided it was your turn. The leopard growled, low and menacing, like it was daring you to take one step closer. So you did. Then it snarled and lunged forward. You lunged back straight at its face. For a moment it was a game of chicken, except with claws and teeth. The leopard, clearly unamused, took a swipe at you. You dodged and responded with a full-on charge. It hesitated, probably running a quick risk assessment. You were smaller, sure, but the sheer audacity was clearly giving it second thoughts. Finally, it sighed, or something close to it, and slinked off into the bushes, leaving you victorious. You dragged the carcass away like this had been the plan all along. But it's not just the big predators you have to deal with. Sometimes it's a pack of wild dogs sniffing around your dinner, or a cheeky jackal thinking it can sneak past you unnoticed. You don't discriminate when it comes to picking fights, big or small. If something crosses your path and looks like it might be a problem, you're going to make sure it regrets the decision. For most animals, survival is about avoiding conflict. For you, it's about doubling down until everyone else gives up. Not because you're stronger, but because you've decided you are. Confidence, it seems, is half the battle. By 3 years old, you're ready for a place of your own. The problem is, space doesn't come easy. Every decent patch of land is already taken, so finding territory isn't about location, it's about negotiation. And by negotiation, I mean biting, growling, and generally causing a scene until someone backs down. Your first attempt doesn't go well. You wander into what looks like unclaimed land, only to realize it belongs to an older honey badger who isn't thrilled to see you. There's no warning growl, just a blur of claws and teeth as it lunges at you. The fight is quick, brutal, and ends with you limping away, slightly wiser, but no less determined. It's fine, you didn't want that patch of land anyway. Eventually, you find a spot that's just right, enough cover to hide, plenty of prey nearby, and a water source within reach. Unfortunately, it's not unoccupied. A jackal seems to have laid claim, but unlike the honey badger, it's not as interested in fighting. You chase it off with a snarl and a half-hearted charge, and just like that, you've got yourself a new home. Territorial life is straightforward. You patrol the boundaries, sniffing around for intruders and marking your space as you go. If something crosses the line, a curious mongoose, a wandering fox, you handle it swiftly. Most animals get the message after one encounter. The few that don't, well, you're happy to remind them. The routine isn't glamorous, but it works. You're hunting, sleeping, and occasionally causing trouble, which is about as close to domestic life as a honey badger gets. By the time you're 5, you've got this whole honey badger thing down to a science. You've built up enough scars to tell 100 stories, though you'd never bother to share them because bragging isn't your style. Your territory is secure, your hunting skills are sharp, and most predators know better than to test you. Life is steady, predictable, even comfortable. Hunting becomes less about survival and more about efficiency. You've learned how to conserve energy, which means waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. A fat rabbit, a slow bird, or even an unguarded snake's nest can keep you fed for days. Once you've eaten, you retreat to your den for a nap, where you'll stay until hunger drags you back out. It's a simple life, but it suits you. Still, time catches up with everyone. By 8 or 9, you're not as quick as you used to be. The fights you once charged into with reckless abandon now leave you aching for days. You avoid confrontations when you can, though not because you're afraid. It's just that you've earned the right to pick your battles, and wasting energy on every challenge isn't worth it anymore. One day, a younger honey badger wanders into your territory, clearly looking for a fight. You size it up, remembering when you were the one with something to prove. The scuffle that follows is rougher than you'd like, but you manage to send the intruder packing this time. As you watch it retreat, you know it won't be long before someone else comes along, and eventually, they'll win. That's just how it goes. The end, when it comes, is quiet. You've spent years fighting, hunting, and carving out your place in the world, but now you're tired. You find a shaded spot under a tree, curl up, and let the savannah carry on without you. There's no fanfare, no grand exit, Just a quiet moment of peace. Somewhere out there, another honey badger is starting its own journey. Maybe it's biting its mom's tail for the first time, or maybe it's charging headfirst at something much bigger than itself. It doesn't matter. The cycle continues, just as it always has. You didn't leave a legacy. You didn't need to. For the years you were here, you lived exactly as a honey badger should. Stubborn, fearless, and utterly unstoppable. And that's more than enough. That was the honey badger. Next is the African leopard. Your mother must sacrifice a sibling to save you from a lion. You are born as an African leopard, hidden inside a cave deep in the savannah. Next to you lies your sibling, born just before you. Neither of you can move much, so you just stay there pressed against the ground. The cave is small, a simple hole in the side of a mountain, but it is safe for now. Your mother is here, exhausted but alert. She hasn't eaten in days. Pregnancy took everything from her, and giving birth drained whatever was left. She needs to hunt. She stands over you and your sibling for a moment, then turns and disappears out of the den, leaving you both alone for the first time. Outside, your father is patrolling. He has fought hard for this land. He killed for it, bled for it, and he will do it again if he has to. This is his territory, and nothing steps onto it without consequences. Then, something moves in the distance. It's a lion. Your father freezes, his eyes locked onto the intruder. The lion sees him too, but does not stop. Your father moves first, charging without hesitation. He knows he cannot win, but running is not an option. The lion is too strong. It pins him down, its massive jaws closing around his throat. And within seconds, it's over for him. Inside the den, you and your sibling are unaware of what just happened. You don't know that your father is gone, that the land you were just born into no longer belongs to your family. You just lay there waiting for your mother to return. Before she reaches the cave, she stops. Her body goes still. Her eyes locked onto the scene in front of her, her mate motionless in the dirt, and the lion standing over him, its eyes already scanning the area. She rushes inside the cave and sees you and your sibling. She only has seconds to decide. She grabs your sibling first, pulling them into her jaws. Then she reaches for you but stops. She can't carry both. If she tries, she won't be fast enough. The lion is already moving. She has no choice. She drops your sibling, grabs you instead, and runs. She does not look back because she knows the truth. The den is no longer safe, and the land is no longer hers. Your father is gone, but you are alive, for now. A few weeks in, and you've gotten used to your new den. Your legs are still weak, and your eyes are barely open. The outside world is not for you yet. Your mother is gone most of the time. She needs to hunt because without food, neither of you will survive. She returns just long enough to feed you, and then she disappears again. Then one day, she leaves as usual. You press against the back wall of the den and wait. That's when you notice something moving at the entrance. A long shape slides inside. It moves slowly, its body pressing low against the ground. It's a snake. It slithers across the dirt, moving closer towards you with every second. It is not here by mistake. It knows what is inside. You want to run, but you can't even walk yet. Your legs are useless. You press against the wall as far back as you can go, but the den is small. The snake keeps coming. It's close enough now that you can see the slow flick of its tongue, tasting the air. Then the entrance darkens. Your mother is back. She jumps forward, snapping her jaws around the snake's body before it can react. She bites down, her teeth cutting deep. The snake twists, but she holds on. After a while, the snake stops moving. She drags the body outside and disappears again. She doesn't even check on you. You survived, and that is enough. But now you understand. Even inside the den, you are never truly safe. You are a few months old now. Your legs are stronger. Your eyes are sharper. You don't just crawl anymore, you can actually run. But you have never hunted. Not yet, at least. Your mother leads you outside, but this time something is different. She moves low through the tall grass, silent and focused. She is not hunting alone. This time, you're involved. Ahead, you spot a young warthog that digs at the ground, completely unaware that you and your mom are here. It's small but also fast. If it sees you, it will run, and you don't want that to happen. Your mother signals. It's time. You don't hesitate. You run forward with her. The warthog lifts its head, but it's already too late. Your mother is already there with her teeth closing around its throat. You jump onto its back, sinking your claws into its rough skin. It moves violently, trying to shake you off. It kicks back, and one of those kicks barely misses your face. You hold on tighter, digging your claws in deeper. The warthog flips over, but it doesn't stop struggling. Then your mother's grip tightens, and just like that, the fight is over. Its body goes limp. Your mother does not hesitate. She drags it down, pinning it beneath her paws. You step back, breathing hard and watching as she starts eating. But then, she does something new. She lets you eat. You move forward cautiously. You have never tasted fresh meat before. You bite down, tearing a piece away. The warmth, the texture, it's nothing like the milk she once gave you. It's so much better. This is your reward. You are around 12 months old now. Your instincts are better and you no longer need your mother to survive. She knows this, and that's why for the past few weeks, she has been pushing you away. At first, it wasn't obvious. She still shared her kills, but she made you wait longer before letting you eat. She stopped grooming you. She started hunting alone more often and leaving you behind. Then one day when you tried to follow her, she turned and snapped at you. Not as a warning, but as a message. It was time to leave. She didn't chase you off, but she didn't have to. She made her kills further away, forcing you to hunt for yourself. The first time you tried, you failed. You got too close and moved too fast, causing your prey to escape before you even had the chance to strike. The second time you did better. You stalked a small antelope. You moved slower this time, keeping your body low and waiting for the right moment. When you finally pounced, you landed on its back with claws digging in and teeth closing around its throat. From that point on, you didn't need her anymore. After she noticed, she stopped waiting for you. You were not her cub anymore. You were competition. That's why you left. The land stretched endlessly ahead of you. Tall grasslands, dry riverbeds, jagged cliffs. You avoided the scent of other leopards trying to stay out of their territory. You moved through open land where no one would chase you off. 50 kilometers, then 100. The land changed, but you kept going. Then finally, after a long trip, you found it. A stretch of land with no markings and no scent. It wasn't perfect, but it was yours. For the first time, you were alone and you were ready. Skip forward a bit, and you've been alone for months now. Hunting is no longer a struggle. You don't just chase prey, you stalk it and break it down piece by piece until it makes a mistake. You have killed before, but never something this big, an impala. It took patience. You stayed low in the grass, waiting and watching. The herd moved, and you moved with it. You kept your eyes locked on a single target, the one that lagged behind. It wasn't weak, it was just careless, but that was all you needed. You lunged forward, exploding from the grass. The impala turned too late. You were already there. It kicked, trying to escape, but your claws found their mark digging into its flesh. You held firm, tightening your grip, waiting as the kicks grew weaker until finally it went still beneath you. You should have dragged it somewhere safer. You should have climbed it into the trees, but you didn't. You were too hungry. You crouched over the carcass, breathing hard, feeling the warmth of the fresh kill beneath your paws. You didn't waste time. Your teeth sank into the flesh, tearing away the first bite. It was the best meal you've had in days. But before you could swallow, something moved in the distance. It was hyenas. There were 2 at first, then 3, then 4, and finally 5. They spread out, circling around you, knowing they didn't need to rush. They were not here to fight you. They were here to take what was yours. One took a step closer, then another, waiting for you to make the decision they knew was coming. You could fight one or maybe even 2, but not all of them. You knew what happened to leopards that refused to run, so you made your choice. You stepped back once, twice, then turned and ran for your life. You climbed onto the nearest tree, launching yourself higher until you were out of reach. You didn't look down, but you heard them, the sickening crunch of bone between powerful jaws. Your kill was gone. You were fast enough to catch it, tough enough to kill it, but you were not strong enough to keep it. You have survived alone for close to a year. This land is yours now. Your scent marks the trees, your tracks cover the dirt, and every creature that walks this territory knows to stay out of your way. But today, something is different. A scent lingers in the air. It's strong and unfamiliar. It does not belong to prey. It belongs to another leopard. Then, you see him. It's a male, bigger than you, moving through your land like it belongs to him. If he is here, that means only one thing. He is here to fight. You have no choice. If you run, you lose everything. The 2 of you lock eyes. Your tails flick, your muscles tense. Neither of you moves at first. Both of you wait, searching for an opening. Then you strike. You launch forward, swiping at his face. He counters immediately. His claws scrape down your side, tearing into flesh. The fight is brutal. The air fills with the scent of blood. Then, a mistake happens. He stumbles back by accident, and that's all you need. You drive him into the dirt, pinning him down. He struggles beneath you, but you hold firm. You don't need to kill him. You just need him to understand. He hesitates for a second. Then he makes his choice. He decides to run. You don't chase, because you don't have to. This is your land, and now he knows it too. You're 4.5 years old, and you've ruled this land for 2 years now. You have fought for it, bled for it, and no leopard dares to challenge you anymore. But now, a different instinct pulls at you. You need to find a mate, but it doesn't take long to find one. One crosses into your territory. She is cautious, watching you from a distance. She doesn't trust you, not yet at least. When you move closer, she lunges, but you don't back down. She swipes at your face, but you dodge. She strikes again, but you are faster. You step forward, pushing her back, forcing her to see the truth. You are stronger, so she has no chance. She has no other choice but to accept. A while later, she gives birth to cubs. They are small, blind, and helpless, just like you once were, but you do not stay with them. You are not their caretaker. That is her role. Your role is something else. You patrol your land, marking the borders, chasing off intruders. You are no longer just a predator. You are a protector. They are the future. They are your future, and you will fight for them. A few weeks after the cubs have been born, you find that something is wrong when scanning your territory. A scent reaches you before you see it. It's strong and unmistakable. You freeze. It is familiar, yet distant, buried in memories you never knew you had. It's a lion. You don't know it, but this is exactly how your father died. At first, you do what every leopard does when facing a lion. You run. Your muscles burn as you push forward, bounding toward the trees, trying to reach the safety of the branches. But this lion is fast, too fast. You feel the weight before you even hear it coming. It slams into you, knocking you to the ground. Pain explodes through your body. You kick and twist, struggling to break free. If it pins you, you are dead. Then you see an opening. You don't hesitate. You twist, violently slipping out from beneath its grip, scrambling to your feet and running as fast as your body allows. You don't stop. Not until the lion is gone. But you are not the same anymore. Your body is broken. Deep wounds tear across your side. Your breathing is ragged and your legs barely hold you up. You keep moving until you reach a tree where you finally collapse. Then, the scent of death fills the air. It's not the lion, it's hyenas. They do not need to chase you this time. You have no strength to move, no strength to fight. One steps closer, then another. You don't even struggle. You know this is your last moment. And just like your father before you, you do not survive. But your cubs will, and one day, they will walk this land just as you did. That was the African leopard. Next is the snow leopard. You must face a brutal, bloody fight on a cliff's edge. You slide out of your mother onto the ground, somewhere high in the mountains of Central Asia. A few minutes pass, and your mother gives birth to your sister. But just 2 days later, she dies. Your mother eats her body to keep herself fed without having to leave you. You don't even notice, though. That's because you're blind. A week later, your eyes finally open, and the first thing you see is your mother leaving the den, then returning with something small hanging from her jaws. It's a fresh kill, but you can't walk yet, so all you do is watch. Skip forward to when you're 2 months old. Your legs are finally strong enough to follow your mom outside. She walks slowly, checking the slopes before letting you leave the den. You sink into the snow with each step, but she stays close, ready to grab you if you fall. Then you spot something moving ahead, a squirrel. You crouch and start walking toward it, copying what you've seen her do. The squirrel doesn't notice you, so you take another step, ready to run. But your mother appears beside you and blocks your path. She grabs you by the scruff, carries you back to the den, and drops you near the wall. You don't fight it. You lie still and stare at the snow outside the entrance. You know that soon you'll have to do more than follow her. Skip forward and you're 3 months old now. You follow your mother through the snow, watching how she hunts and gets food. She moves quietly across the ridge until she spots a herd of blue sheep in the distance. They're feeding close to the cliffs, scraping through the snow to reach dry grass. Your mother crouches low and starts moving toward them, with her steps careful and slow. But you stay where you are. You know that if you follow too close, you'll ruin her hunt. So you press your body to the ground and wait. She gets closer and closer. The blue sheep still haven't noticed her. Then she bursts forward. The herd runs with their hooves hitting the rocks, but one stumbles. Your mother leaps and lands on it, her jaws locking around its throat. She kills it quickly by cutting off oxygen. You walk toward her as she drags the body to the side of a tree. She rips open the neck and begins to feed. You watch carefully, studying every movement she makes. She doesn't waste a bite, and when she's done, she steps back and lets you eat what's left. The meat is cold and heavy in your mouth, but it's your first taste of real food, and soon you're going to have to learn how to get it on your own. You're 1 year old now. You and your mother stalk a mountain goat that's feeding near a cliff. You stay low, moving quietly through the snow, and the goat keeps its head down, unaware of you. Your mother looks at you, then walks around to the other side. She's trying to cut off its escape. You crouch lower and wait for her to get into position. When she's ready, she gives a quiet growl. That's your sign to go. You step out and move toward the goat, forcing it to run straight in her direction. The moment it starts running, your mother bursts forward. She jumps from behind a tree and lands square on its back. The force sends both of them rolling down a few meters. When they stop, she bites into its neck and holds until it goes still. The hunt is over. You walk closer as she drags the carcass into cover. You start tearing into the meat while she watches the slope around you. A few seconds later, you hear something in the distance. It's a deep and steady growl that doesn't belong to either of you. You look up and see a wolf standing in the distance. This is bad news because wolves never travel alone, so there must be more of them coming. And then you see them, more shapes emerging from behind the first one. 5 in total, moving down slowly, surrounding the both of you. Your mother growls but doesn't attack. She knows fighting 5 wolves means death. The food isn't worth it. She nudges you to back off, but one wolf snaps at you, so she charges with claws hitting the snow, forcing it back. Then another moves closer, so she pulls away again before they surround her. She pushes through the space between 2 of them, and you follow fast. The wolves bark but don't chase. You walk until their howls fade behind you. The meal is gone, but you survived. Against a pack of 5, that's the only victory that matters. Skip forward, and you're 1 year and 6 months old now. Your mother has changed. She's in heat again and no longer treats you like her cub. When she catches something small, she eats it alone and growls if you try to get close. You understand what that means. She's ready to raise new cubs, and you're now competition, not family. So you leave. You walk across ridges for days, following the wind through empty valleys. The snow gets thinner the farther you go. You stop at streams to drink and sleep under rocks at night, always moving and searching for a place without another snow leopard's scent. Finally, you find an open stretch of cliffs. You walk the perimeter, rubbing your face on the rocks, hoping it can be yours. But then you spot movement ahead. A big male steps out from behind a boulder. His shoulders are twice your size and his head wide and scarred. As soon as he sees you, he starts walking forward. You freeze, not sure whether to stand your ground or run. But after taking a second look at him, you realize how outmatched you are. His scent alone is enough to tell you this land already belongs to him. You turn and start running. The sound of his paws hits behind you, but he doesn't chase far. By the time you stop, the mountains are silent again. You're alone. But hunger drives you to hunt. You haven't eaten in days, so you look for something small, anything that won't waste too much energy if it escapes. You find a marmot near a rocky slope, digging in the dirt. You crouch and creep closer, but it turns and spots you. You think you've failed, but instead of running, it collapses onto its back and freezes. You blink, confused, then move in and bite its neck. It doesn't fight. You eat until your stomach doesn't feel like it's going to eat itself. It's not much, but it keeps you moving, and now, your journey starts again. You're 3 years old now. You found your territory a long time ago and settled into it. The cliffs, trees, and valleys all smell like you. But food has been harder to get lately. Every time you go after big prey, something goes wrong. Marmots run away before you can even get close, and mountain goats vanish over rocks you can't reach. For weeks, you've failed every hunt, but today is different. You spot a blue sheep grazing near a slope. It's far from its herd, and the snow muffles your steps. You creep closer, each paw sinking in silence. When it finally raises its head, you're already too close. You launch forward and slam into it, with your claws cutting deep. The animal falls hard and you clamp your jaws around its neck until it stops moving. You finally have a kill. You start tearing into its body, ripping through thick fur and meat. Then the ground starts shaking. You look up and see a brown bear climbing down the slope toward you. It's massive, much larger and heavier than you. You know you can't win this fight, so you step back and run, leaving the kill behind. But you don't go far. You stop behind the trees and watch. The bear grabs your kill in its jaws and walks away. You follow from a distance, staying quiet. After a while, the bear reaches a patch of forest and drops the carcass. Then it lies down on its back, resting. You crouch low, thinking about how to take your food back. Then another thought hits you. What if you killed the bear while it slept? So you walk closer until you're almost beside it. Then, you bite hard into its neck. The bear roars and rears up, but its strength fades fast. It collapses backward and goes still. You stand over the body breathing heavily, and realize what you just did. You killed a brown bear. Your first real victory. But the mountains never let you win for long. Something else will come. Skip forward again, and you're 4 years old now. One morning, a new smell rides the wind. It's sharp and fresh. It's another male. He's been marking the same rocks you use. You know what that means. A challenge. You start moving along the ridge, following the scent trail until you see him. He's standing on a narrow ledge across the valley. His coat is darker, and he looks heavier and older. But you've grown since last winter. You crouch low and begin moving along the edge. He spots you and starts walking too. The space between you shrinks, filled only by low growls that echo against the cliffs. You both know what's coming. He lunges first. You charge to meet him with your claws scraping against stone. The impact knocks both of you sideways. You bite into his shoulder, teeth grinding through fur and muscle. You slip once, but keep your footing while he slides a few steps down the slope. You're both breathing hard now. Blood runs down your side, but you keep standing. This is your territory, and you won't give it up. So you walk toward him again, slow but steady. He growls and lifts his paw, but he doesn't move forward. He knows that if you attack again, he'll die. You stare at him for a moment. He breaks eye contact, lowers his head, and starts backing away. You stay still, watching as he turns around and limps off through the snow until he disappears behind the rocks. Then you walk back to your scrape site and spray the rock. Your ribs hurt, but you won. You didn't need to kill him. You only had to make him understand what happens if he stays. You're 5 years old now. Winter has covered the mountains in deep snow, and every step sinks you to the ankles. As you walk along a narrow path, you spot a mark in the snow ahead. You walk closer and smell it. It's from a female. Her scent is fresh, so she must be close. You start tracking it, following one mark after another along the mountain slope. You find her paw prints in the snow and follow them higher. Sometimes the trail fades, but the scent always returns. 2 days later, you finally see her. She's smaller than you, and her coat is darker around the neck. She stares for a moment, then lowers her head. She doesn't run. You approach carefully, and she stays still. For a week, you move together through the mountains. You hunt at night, rest during the day, and mate whenever she calls. The wind still cuts through the rocks, but the cold doesn't feel as sharp now. One night you kill a blue sheep and drag the body close to her den. She eats first while you stand nearby watching the snow drift past. When she's done, you eat too. The meat is frozen and tough, but for once it feels worth the effort. Then, as the days pass, her scent starts to fade. She climbs higher each morning, and you follow until you can't anymore. She doesn't look back. Her tracks stretch up the slope until the wind erases them. You stay still for a while, staring at where she disappeared. Then you walk back to the same spot where you first found her. The mountain is silent again, but you don't dwell on it for long. There will be more females when next winter comes, and you'll be stronger then. You're 8 years old now. One day you smell something that isn't yours. It's fresh urine on a rock. You think it's another female, so you follow the trail up a narrow path. But what you find isn't a female. It's a male standing on the edge of a cliff. You lower your head and walk forward. But he hears you and turns around. He's younger and stronger. He looks straight at you and starts walking closer. You stay still, trying to look confident, but he doesn't stop. He growls once and then rushes forward. You push back, both of you locking together and rolling in the snow. The cliff is only a few steps away. You try to twist and bite, but he hits harder. You lose your footing, sliding backward as the edge crumbles under your weight. You grab at the ground with your claws, trying to pull yourself up, but he slams his shoulder into your chest. You slip and fall. You crash into the rocks below. The impact knocks the air from your lungs and your body goes still. The young male looks down from above. He steps closer to the edge and starts peeing. The urine falls and lands on your body. He marks the mountain as his own, then turns and walks away. That was the snow leopard. Next is the puma, hoping for a snack that falls from the sky. You're born in a den, which is just basically a smelly hole in the ground. The good news is your mom is there, and she's super protective. She keeps predators away and goes out hunting to feed you and your siblings. The bad news? You and your siblings are basically useless blobs at this point, so she's doing all the work while you just lie there whining for milk. Your siblings aren't much better, except they're bigger than you, which means they keep stepping on your face while fighting over milk. Mom is out hunting for food most of the time, leaving you all to fend for yourselves in the cave. If she doesn't come back, well, you'll just sit there and wait for something to eat you. It's not a great system, but it's what you've got. One day, your mom decides it's time for you to leave the den. You're not ready, but she doesn't care. She drags you and your siblings out into the jungle, where everything either moves too fast to catch or wants to eat you. This is survival training, apparently. Lesson 1. Stay quiet. You fail immediately by stepping on a twig so loud it might as well have been a firecracker. The rabbit she was stalking bolts, and she gives you a look that could kill. You've never been more disappointed in yourself. Eventually, she catches something, a small bird, and lets you and your siblings share the leftovers. It's your first taste of meat, and you're not sure whether to be excited or horrified. Either way, you eat it, because you don't have a choice. After a few weeks of being hauled around like luggage, Mom decides it's time for you to contribute to society, or at least stop being useless. Welcome to Hunting 101. Today's lesson, crouching and stalking. You're bad at both. The rules seem simple. Stay low, move slow, and don't be seen. You fail at all three. Your crouch is clumsy, your steps are noisy, and you couldn't hide if your life depended on it. Every time you move, you step on a twig or kick a rock. Mom tries to show you how to do it, gliding through the bushes like a ghost. You copy her and crash into a tree. Your first target is a rabbit. It's sitting still, nibbling grass, and doesn't notice you. You try to sneak up on it, but halfway there you sneeze. The rabbit bolts, and you're left sitting in a dirt. Mom stares at you for a long time before walking away. She doesn't say anything, obviously, but the look says enough. Over the next few weeks, you keep trying. You mess up a lot. You trip over your own feet. You chase things that are too fast or too big. Sometimes you give up and sit in the grass, hoping a snack falls from the sky. It never does. But you don't stop trying. Slowly, you start to improve. You catch a mouse once, and another time you surprise a lizard. They're small wins, but they matter. You're still bad at hunting, but you're not hopeless anymore. Mom keeps helping you, but it's clear that she's slowly losing patience. You're following Mom through the jungle, minding your own business, when she stops so suddenly you nearly walk into her. She sniffs the air and gives you a shove towards some bushes. You don't ask questions, you just go. Then you see them. Wolves. A whole pack of them. They're big, they're mean-looking, and they're way too close. You freeze, but Mom does not. She steps forward, growling and twitching her tail. The wolves don't care. They keep coming. One of them moves closer, and Mom pounces. She bites him on the neck. The wolf yelps and runs back to its friends. They hesitate because clearly none of them want to be next. After what feels like forever, they finally run off, throwing a few dirty looks over their shoulders. Mom watches them go, then turns back like nothing happened. You're still shaking so hard you might vibrate out of the bushes. That night, you curl up next to her, trying not to think about how close you came to being someone's snack. At about 1 year old, you figured out how to stay quiet, how to move without making too much noise, and how to keep from tripping over yourself. You're not good at it, but you're not as bad as before. Mom's still hunting, but she's giving you more responsibility. Lately, she's been taking you on bigger hunts. She spots a deer and signals for you to help. You crouch low and creep forward, trying to get into position. But when the moment comes, you freeze. The deer takes off, and Mom has to chase it down herself. When she comes back, she doesn't look happy. This keeps happening. You try to help, but you're too slow or too loud. Most of the time, Mom ends up doing the hard work while you watch. It's not a great look, but at least you're trying. Then, one day, everything clicks. Mom corners a rabbit and leaves it to you. You take your shot, and this time you don't mess up. It's small, sure, but it's a real catch. You eat it quickly, more relieved than proud. After that first success, things start to change. Mom doesn't wait around as much anymore. She expects you to handle more on your own. Sometimes she even pretends not to see a squirrel or rabbit nearby, clearly giving you the chance to prove yourself. You mess up plenty of those chances, but when you do get it right, there's no applause or congratulations. She just keeps moving, like it's business as usual. That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to. The animals you catch are still small, but they're yours. Each one feels a little easier, a little less like luck and more like skill. You're not exactly confident yet, but for the first time, you're not completely unsure of yourself either. Mom still steps in for the bigger hunts, the ones you're nowhere near ready for, but it's clear her role is changing. She's less teacher, more observer, making sure you're on the right track before she moves on. At around 20 months, your mom decides that you're ready to live on your own. Your first order of business is leaving her territory. Pumas don't do roommates, and sticking around would likely get you chased off. So you head out, wandering aimlessly while trying not to starve. It's not exactly a heroic start. Finding food isn't easy. You're used to your mom doing the hard part, but now it's all on you. Deer are too fast, rabbits are too smart, and birds are basically just mocking you at this point. You spend most of your time chasing things you'll never catch, though occasionally you get lucky with something small. A mouse here, a squirrel there. It's not glamorous, but it's food. Then there's the matter of finding a territory. Male pumas need a lot of space, like 100 to 150 square miles of space. That's bigger than some cities, and every square inch is already claimed by a bigger, scarier puma. If you accidentally wander into someone else's turf, you're greeted with growls, scratches, and the universal message of, get lost. After weeks of dodging fights and eating whatever you can catch, you stumble across a patch of land that looks promising. Plenty of trees for cover, a few watering holes, and no immediate signs of competition. You mark it as your own, scratches on trees, a little scent here and there, and hope no one stronger comes along to disagree. It's not much, but it's yours. A scrappy little slice of wilderness where you can hunt, nap, and occasionally fall out of trees without anyone watching. Life alone is tough, but hey, at least no one's stepping on your face for milk anymore. With your new territory claimed, life settles into a routine, if you can call constantly avoiding death a routine. You'd like to think you're getting the hang of it, but the truth is, you're still learning. Hunting is your main focus. Deer are your best bet. They're big enough to feed you for days if you can catch one. But they're also annoyingly fast and always seem to know when you're nearby. You've got to rely on stealth, creeping low to the ground, moving with the wind, and praying that your stomach doesn't growl at the worst moment. When you do catch a deer, it's worth the effort. You drag it to a quiet spot, eat as much as you can, and stash the rest. Of course, scavengers like coyotes and vultures always show up, hoping to steal a free meal. You chase them off when you can, but let's be honest, you're not always in the mood to fight a gang of angry birds over leftovers. Patrolling your territory is another big job. You walk the boundaries every day, checking for signs of intruders. If you find another puma's scent, you have to decide. Is it worth a fight, or should you back off and pretend you didn't notice? Most of the time you go with the second option. It's not cowardice, it's called survival. Then there's the occasional visitor. A female might wander into your territory, checking out the local real estate. If she likes what she sees, you might spend a few days together. No commitment, no strings attached. Then she moves on, and you go back to your usual schedule of hunting, eating, and avoiding eye contact with anything bigger than you. By the time you hit your prime, your life revolves around one thing, keeping what's yours. Forget just hunting for food. Every inch of your territory is a prize that other pumas want. It's less about survival now, and more about strategy. You're playing chess with predators who don't know what chess is, and the stakes are your life. Every few weeks, you find signs that someone's testing your boundaries. Claw marks on a tree, a fresh scent trail, or, worst of all, a poop pile. These are not friendly messages. They're challenges, and you can't ignore them. If you fight, it's a brutal, no-holds-barred match. Claws, teeth, growls. It's messy, painful, and never as quick as you'd like. Even if you win, you don't walk away unscathed. That's the price of keeping your turf. Then there's the constant balancing act of prey. If you hunt too much in one area, the deer move on, and you're left with nothing but rabbits and regret. So, you roam your range carefully, taking just enough to keep yourself fed without scaring off the buffet. It's a juggling act, and there's no one to teach you how to do it right. Skip forward a bit, and it's a regular day. You've patrolled your territory, chased off a nosy coyote, and scored yourself a decent meal. As the sun dips below the horizon, you're prowling along the edge of your range, nose to the ground, when you spot something unusual. A rabbit. It's hopping on a strange, flat surface that looks nothing like the rest of your territory. The ground smells weird, like hot rocks, and it gleams faintly in the fading light. Around it are bright, glowing lines that flicker and move. The rabbit doesn't seem to care. It's just sitting there, chewing lazily, completely unaware that you're watching. You freeze, crouch low, and lock your eyes on the target. This one won't get away. The flat ground doesn't bother you. It might even make things easier. You inch closer, your paws silent against the surface, muscles coiled like springs. Then, the moment comes. You leap. Mid-air, something changes. A deep, rumbling noise fills the air and a pair of blinding lights rush toward you. You don't know what it is, but it's fast. Faster than anything you've ever seen. There's no time to think. No time to adjust. And just like that, it's over. This is how 28% of pumas meet their end. Not from hunger, not from predators, but from cars. That rabbit, It hops away, oblivious to the chaos it left behind. The lights fade, the night goes quiet, and your territory for the first time doesn't belong to anyone. That was the puma. Next is the Arctic wolf. You are forced out into the sub-zero cold to immediately join a pack hunt. You're born in a hole in the snow. It's cramped, dark, and cold. Your mom is curled around you and your siblings, but she's exhausted. She's been running on empty stomach for weeks, hunting, digging this den, and keeping herself alive long enough to get you here. The wind howls outside, and the snow presses in on all sides, but you don't notice yet, and that's because you're totally blind. Your only instinct is to crawl closer to your mom and fight for the best spot. You're already competing with your siblings, even though none of you can stand yet. You're small and at the bottom of the Arctic food chain, and you have no idea that it's only going to get worse from here. Your so-called family looks like this. There's one alpha pair, your mom and your dad, and they run the whole show. Your dad is the dominant male, and he's in charge of protecting the pack's territory, leading the hunts, and making sure no one steps out of line. Your mom is the lead female. She raises the pups and holds just as much authority as your dad when it comes to keeping the pack together. Then there are the subordinates, 3 other wolves. They're adults, but they're not in charge. They're the hunters and babysitters, doing whatever your parents tell them to do. They don't eat until the alphas have had their fill, and they stay in the pack because it's safer than being out in the Arctic alone. The pack has a strict pecking order, and you're at the very bottom of it. No one's going to listen to you, and no one's going to take care of you except your mom, and even that's conditional. If the pack has to choose between you and survival, you're not going to like their decision. This is the Arctic. There's no room for sympathy here. For now, though, the pack tolerates your existence. Your dad patrols the territory, marking the borders and making sure no rival wolves or predators get too close. Your mom stays close to the den, keeping you and your siblings alive. The other wolves bring back food, but it's barely enough to go around. The pack eats first, and whatever scraps are left might make it to your mom, if she's lucky. And if she's lucky, you'll get what's left of what's left. The pack isn't a family in the human sense. It's a survival unit. Everyone has a role, and yours, right now, is to stay alive without slowing them down. No one is going to save you if you fall behind. The sooner you figure that out, the better. After a couple of weeks, your eyes open. The world is bright and cold, and the Arctic wind doesn't care that you're still figuring out how to exist. You crawl out of the den for the first time and immediately regret it. The snow is everywhere, under your paws, in your fur, and in your face. You don't understand why your siblings are so excited to explore. They're bigger than you, stronger than you, and better at shoving you aside. The adults don't pay attention to you. They're too busy doing important things like scanning the horizon for threats or returning from hunts with scraps of meat. You're still entirely dependent on your mom, but she's got 4 mouths to feed and barely enough food to do it. The pack eats first, and the scraps are picked clean before you even get a sniff. You try to chew on frozen bones, but it's more effort than it's worth. When the pack moves, you follow, even though you're not built for it yet. Your legs are weak, your paws sink into the snow, and you fall behind constantly. Your mom stops to nudge you forward, but it's not kindness, it's practicality. A dead pup is a waste, and the pack can't afford to waste anything. Every time she pushes you forward, you feel smaller and weaker. You start to understand that no one is going to carry you. Eventually, the pack decides it's time for you to learn the basics of survival. They take you and your siblings out to watch the adults hunt. You don't get an explanation. You're just expected to watch and figure it out. The first target is a hare. The adults spread out, silent and deliberate, while you and your siblings stay behind. You're supposed to stay quiet, but you're hungry, impatient, and bad at following orders. The hare hears you before anyone moves, and it bolts. Your dad glares at you, and your mom doesn't even look in your direction. The pack regroups and moves on, leaving you to stumble after them. The next few hunts are no better. You try to copy the adults, crouching low and stalking through the snow, but you're too loud and too clumsy. Prey escapes every time, and the pack doesn't bother hiding their frustration. You're eating less and less now, and the gap between you and your siblings is starting to show. They're growing faster, getting stronger, and learning how to contribute, while you're still trailing behind. Winter comes, and it's worse than you imagined. The cold is constant, and the snow never seems to stop falling. Food is scarcer than ever, and the pack is constantly on the move, searching for anything to eat. You're forced to follow, even when your legs are numb and your stomach feels like it's caving in on itself. The adults manage to bring down a caribou one day, but by the time you get there, it's nothing but bones. You gnaw on what's left, trying to convince yourself you're full. The pack doesn't slow down. You keep moving, even though every step feels like it might be your last. The nights are the worst. The pack huddles together for warmth, and you're shoved to the outside. The wind cuts through your fur, and you shiver until morning. You start to wonder if you'll ever feel warm again. By the time spring returns, you've survived your first year, but barely. You're bigger now, but so is everyone else, and you're still at the bottom of the hierarchy. The new pups arrive, and they take your place in the pack. Your mom is too busy with them to care about you anymore. The adults push you aside when food is scarce, and you're left with nothing most days. Your dad, the alpha, starts to see you as a threat. You're not much of one, but he doesn't take chances. Every time you try to eat, he shoves you back. Every time you get too close to the new pups, he growls. It's not subtle. You're not wanted here. One day, the pack moves without you. You watch them disappear into the distance and realize they're not coming back. You're on your own now. At first, being on your own feels liberating. There's no more growling in your direction, no more shoving for scraps. You wander the tundra, following your instincts, surviving on whatever you can catch or scavenge. It's hard, but you're built for this. Hares are your usual target. They're small and fast, but you're faster now. Days turn into weeks, and you find your rhythm. You move constantly, hunting, resting, and keeping your distance from larger predators. Every now and then, you cross into the territory of another pack. Sometimes you catch their scent and steer clear. Other times, you come face to face with them. When that happens, you lower your head and back away. A fight isn't worth it. Not yet. You keep moving, covering miles of frozen ground, your nose always to the wind. You're not looking for anything in particular, but the Arctic has a way of surprising you. One day, while traveling across an open plain, you catch a scent on the wind. It's not food. It's not a rival pack. It's another wolf, a lone female. You follow the trail cautiously, your ears up, your steps quiet. Eventually, you see her in the distance. She's like you, thin, cautious, and alone. You approach slowly, careful not to seem like a threat. She doesn't run, and that's a good sign. The two of you circle each other, sniffing, sizing each other up. Neither of you has much to offer, just survival skills and the stubbornness that's kept you alive this long. It's not a romantic story, but out here that doesn't matter. You're both alone, and the Arctic is a lot easier to face with someone by your side. You start traveling together. At first, it's awkward. Two wolves used to being on their own, but over time you learn how to work as a team. Hunting becomes easier with the two of you. You take down larger prey, sharing the kills and eating more than you've eaten in months. You take turns watching for predators while the other sleeps. Slowly, you stop feeling like a lone wolf. As the seasons pass, the two of you settle into a routine. You wander the tundra together, hunting, resting, and marking a small territory of your own. Then one spring, everything changes. Your mate gives birth to 3 pups in a den she dug out in the snow while you were out hunting. The responsibility feels heavy, but it also feels right. You teach the pups how to walk, how to play, and eventually how to hunt. You lead them across the tundra, showing them where to find food and how to survive. It's hard work, but it's worth it. Your little pack is growing stronger every day. Life as the leader of your pack is relentless. Every day is a struggle to find food, protect your territory, and keep your pups alive. You hunt tirelessly, leading the charge against caribou, chasing down hares, and scavenging whatever you can to feed your family. Your mate helps, and the pups are growing stronger, but the weight of responsibility falls on you. You push yourself harder than ever because you have no choice. One day, while hunting, things go wrong. You're chasing a caribou, pushing through deep snow, when it kicks out and catches your leg with its hoof. The pain shoots through you, sharp and sudden, but you finish the hunt anyway. The pack eats, and for a moment, the injury doesn't seem like much. Just a scratch, you think. It's nothing compared to the challenges you've faced before. But days later, the pain hasn't gone away. In fact, it's worse. Your leg swells, and every step feels like fire. You start limping, falling behind your pack more often. The pups, who once looked up to you, don't understand why you're slower now. You still try to hunt, but the infection spreads. It's in your bloodstream now, and you can feel it sapping your strength. You stop eating, you stop moving. You lie down in the snow, far from the pack. They don't wait for you. They can't afford to. You don't blame them. You know how this works. You've seen it before. This is just the way of things in the Arctic. The infection takes hold, and the cold sinks into your bones. Your breaths become slower, shallower, until they stop altogether. There's no ceremony. You die the same way you lived, alone in the vast, unrelenting wilderness. The Arctic doesn't notice. The Arctic doesn't care. It just keeps going, and so will your pack. Hunting, surviving, and carrying on without you. The cycle continues. The Arctic always wins. That was the Arctic wolf. Next is the hammerhead shark. You are abandoned in a nursery where every larger shark sees you as prey. You slip out of your mother into the warm coastal water with your head folded flat against your body. 5 more siblings slide out behind you, twisting free one after another. Your mother keeps swimming forward without slowing down, leaving all of you drifting in the shallow nursery while she disappears into deeper water. Your head starts to unfold. The soft cartilage spreads wide on both sides, slowly hardening into the hammer shape. It takes a few hours, but by the time the light starts fading, your head is fully formed and rigid. You swim close to the sandy bottom, moving toward a thick patch of mangrove roots that twist down into the water. Then something large moves above you. A shark, much bigger than you, circles the edge of the nursery with its body angling downward. One of your siblings drifts away from the roots into open water. The shark turns sharply and accelerates, closing the distance in seconds before clamping down and dragging your sibling deeper into the murky water. You push yourself between the tangled roots, wedging your body into the thickest part where the branches cross. The other survivors scatter into the maze, each one finding their own gap to hide in. The larger shark circles once more, but it doesn't follow you into the roots. After a while, it swims away. That night, you move back out onto the open sand, but you stay close to the roots. The mangroves kept you alive today, but you're growing fast, and soon you'll be too big to hide here anymore. You're 3 weeks old now, and you leave the roots to hunt in the open sand. Your hammer swings side to side as you swim low over the bottom, scanning for anything buried beneath. Then your head picks up something, a weak electrical signal pulsing from under the sand. You stop and start digging with your snout, pushing the sand aside in quick bursts. A stingray explodes out from beneath you, its flat body kicking up and shooting forward. You lunge after it, trying to pin it down with your hammer, but it's too fast and too strong. Then its tail whips backward, and the barb stabs into the side of your head, tearing through the soft tissue. You twist away and swim erratically back toward the mangrove roots with your movements jerky and uncontrolled. The pain throws off your balance, making you tilt to one side as you push yourself back into the safety of the branches. A few hours later, the pain fades enough for you to move normally again. Hunger drives you back out onto the sand, so you start scanning again with your hammer sweeping slowly from side to side. This time you pick up a smaller signal, weaker and slower than before. You dig carefully and uncover a flounder half buried in the bottom. It tries to swim away, but you slam your hammer down on top of it, pinning its body against the sand. Then you bite down hard and tear into its flesh. That's your first real meal. You've caught something that tried to hide, but not everything stays buried when you dig, and some of them fight back harder than you can handle. Skip forward a bit, and you're 5 months old now. You've grown too large for the mangrove nursery, so you swim out into deeper water where the bottom drops away beneath you. Then you see movement ahead, a group of young hammerheads your size swimming together in a tight formation. You push forward and slide into the group, matching their speed and direction. They don't try to push you out, so you stay with them. The school moves as one mass, turning together when the current shifts. Then a barracuda drops down from above with its body cutting through the water fast. The school turns sharply to the left, and you turn with them, staying close to the others. But you're swimming near the outer edge, exposed on the side where the barracuda is coming from. You push inward, ramming your body against the others to get closer to the center. They push back, but you keep pressing until you force your way deeper into the formation. The barracuda closes in and strikes at a shark on the opposite edge, clamping down on its tail. The wounded shark jerks sideways, blood trailing behind it as it falls away from the group. The school scatters for a moment, then reforms and keeps swimming. The injured shark tries to follow, but can't keep up, so it drops back and disappears into the darker water below. You stay near the center now, wedged between the others. The school keeps you alive by moving together, but if you fall behind or swim on the edge, you're the one who gets caught. You're 1 year old now, and the school starts moving along the coast with hundreds of other hammerheads joining from different directions. The formation stretches wide across the water, moving together in waves that rise and fall as the group swims forward. You stay in the middle of the mass, surrounded on all sides by bodies your size. Then the water temperature drops. The current pulls you into colder water, making your muscles slow down and your movements become harder to control. You start drifting backward through the formation, falling away from the others in front of you. The school keeps moving at the same speed, but you can't match it anymore, so you slide further and further back until you're swimming near the rear edge. That's when you see it. A tiger shark appears behind the migration, following the stragglers with its body angled upward. It moves slowly at first, just trailing the group. Then it accelerates and closes the distance on a hammerhead that's fallen too far behind. The tiger shark rams into it from the side, clamping down on its body and dragging it away from the formation. You force yourself to swim harder despite the cold, pushing your tail faster and angling your body forward to catch up with the main group. Your muscles burn, but you keep going, pulling yourself back into the center of the school just as the tiger shark turns toward another straggler. It takes that one instead, and you keep swimming with the mass of bodies around you. A few hours later, the water warms again and your strength returns. The migration brought you to richer water with more food and fewer threats. But every year you'll have to make this journey again, and every year you'll need to be strong enough to finish it. At 3 years old, you leave the school to hunt alone. You find a reef where fish gather in thick groups, moving between the coral and the rocks. You hunt here successfully for several days, pinning prey against the bottom with your hammer and feeding until your stomach is full. Then another hammerhead appears, swimming along the same reef with its body angled toward the spot where you've been hunting. It's your size, maybe slightly smaller, but it doesn't turn away when it sees you. Both of you circle each other slowly, swimming in wide loops without breaking eye contact. You arch your back and drop your pectoral fins low, making your body look wider and more threatening. The other shark does the same, holding its position near the coral. Then you charge forward and ram it with your hammer, hitting it head-on. The other shark twists and slams back into you, driving its hammer into your side. You bite at its gills, snapping your jaws toward the soft tissue, but it turns too quickly and you miss. Then it bites you on the flank, tearing through skin and leaving a wound that starts bleeding immediately. You ram it again, harder this time, driving it backward into the coral. It tries to push back, but you don't stop. You hit it once more, and this time it turns and swims away, disappearing over the edge of the reef. You stay near the coral with blood leaking from your side. The wound stings, but the reef is yours now. You've claimed your first hunting ground, but other hammerheads pass through these waters constantly, and you'll have to fight again. You're 7 years old now, swimming toward warmer water where hundreds of hammerheads gather to mate. You arrive at the gathering site and see females moving through the mass, each one larger than the males around them. You follow one as she swims through the group, along with several other males competing for position beside her. Then another male moves in fast and bites down on her pectoral fin, clamping his jaws tight and holding on while she keeps swimming. You accelerate and come in from the other side, biting her opposite fin and gripping it hard. She doesn't stop or try to shake either of you off, so you hold your position with your teeth locked onto her fin. The other male releases after a moment and falls away. You stay attached, keeping your grip while positioning your body alongside hers. Then you release the fin and twist your body to align with hers, mating quickly before she pulls away. The whole process lasts only a few seconds. After it's done, she swims off immediately and joins a group of other females on the far side of the gathering. You return to hunting alone, moving back to your reef territory. Somewhere in these waters, your offspring will be born in a year, sliding out into shallow nurseries just like you did. But you'll never see them, and they'll never know you existed. The females carry the young alone, give birth alone, and abandon them just as quickly. You've mated for the first time, passing on your genes to the next generation. But your role ends here, and you'll spend the rest of your life hunting and defending territory. Skip forward a bit, and you're 11 years old now. You're hunting near a drop-off where large fish gather in schools, moving between the shallow reef and the deep water below. You attack a grouper and kill it quickly, pinning it against the rocks with your hammer before tearing into its body. Then you start feeding, ripping chunks of flesh and swallowing them whole. That's when you see movement rising from the deep. A great white shark comes up from below, twice your size, with its body cutting through the water in a straight line toward you. You release the grouper immediately and back away slowly, keeping your eyes on the great white as it closes the distance. It reaches the carcass and takes the entire fish in one bite, crushing it between its jaws before swallowing. Then it turns toward you. You angle your body sideways, showing your full size with your hammer spread wide and your body extended. The great white keeps swimming forward, but you keep backing away toward the shallow water behind you. You move slowly, keeping your posture wide, so it can see how large you are. The great white stops. It watches you for a moment, then turns and swims back down toward the drop-off, disappearing into the darker water below. You retreat into the shallows where the water is too thin for great whites to hunt comfortably, staying there until the threat is gone. You're big enough now that most predators won't risk attacking you. A full-grown hammerhead your size isn't easy prey, and the fight would cost more energy than it's worth. But age will slow you down eventually, and when it does, you won't be able to escape anymore. You're 14 years old now, hunting near a deep trench where the ocean floor drops away into darkness. Your hammer scans the water, picking up signals from prey moving along the edge of the shelf. You've been here before, and the hunting is always good. Then something massive rises from the trench below. An orca. It's much larger than any shark you've encountered, and it comes up fast with its body angled directly toward you. You turn and try to swim away, but your muscles are slower than they used to be. They are worn down by years of hunting and fighting, and the orca closes the distance easily. It rams into your side with its full weight, knocking you off course and sending you spinning through the water. You try to right yourself, but before you can recover, it circles back and hits you again, this time from above. The impact drives you downward, making your body tumble toward the seafloor. You struggle to swim upward, but your movements are weak and uncoordinated. Then the orca comes in from below and rams your underside, flipping you completely over. Sharks need to stay upright to breathe properly, and being inverted disorients you completely. You twist, trying to turn back over, but the orca pushes you down again, keeping you upside down. Your body goes still. The blood stops flowing to your brain correctly, and your muscles stop responding. The orca holds you in place for a moment longer, then releases. Your body sinks slowly toward the bottom, tumbling through the dark water with your hammer tilted at an odd angle. By the time you reach the seafloor, you're already gone. That was the hammerhead shark. Next is the dolphin, where your mother is hunted by a male pod. You're born into open water, and you start moving instantly. Your body tips forward, and your head lifts just enough to spot your mother swimming ahead, so you start following her. You don't know why you're doing it, but your body keeps matching her position, and your path lines up with hers as you swim forward. Then, you get unlucky. There's a dark shape ahead that starts getting bigger, and at first it's hard to tell what it is. It's coming straight toward you, and it isn't turning or slowing down. It's just getting closer every second. You keep swimming until it's near enough for you to see the head and the teeth moving side to side. And that's when you realize it's a shark. It keeps coming, and you try to swim faster, but your body doesn't respond the way you want it to. Your muscles don't move evenly, your head lifts too far, and your tail pulls sideways. Before you can make another move, you stop completely and freeze in place. The shark swims even closer, but your mother sees it and turns. Then, without waiting, she swims forward straight at the shark from below. Two more females break from the group and follow behind her, one slightly higher and the other wide to the left. None of them change speed or position as they close in. Your mother hits first, slamming into the shark's stomach to knock it offline while the others crash into the side, one after the other, hitting hard enough to push it off balance and turn its body away from you. Your mother spins back around and strikes it again near the head, and this time the shark stops moving forward and begins to turn. By the time she comes back around, it's already swimming in the other direction. She swims back to you and you move in behind her, falling back into place just under her tail. It's your first day, and things are only going to get more interesting. You're 1 month old now, and you still swim beside your mother. The others circle around you. They move when she moves and close in when something feels off. Then a group of males cuts across the edge of the pod. They don't slow down or keep their distance. They chose your mother. One slams into her shoulder and another drops low and drives straight into her belly. She kicks and twists, but they keep going, hitting from both sides, forcing her downward. Then one grabs hold and drags her deeper, while the rest follow behind him. You turn to follow, but one of them sees you and blocks off your path. He turns once and comes straight at you with his jaws open, ready to bite. He's not chasing you. He's trying to take you out. You freeze in place and brace your body, but he keeps coming. Then your auntie slams into his side before he can reach you. Another one crashes into his ribs, and a third rises from below and knocks him off balance with her head. They don't chase him and they don't finish it. They hit him once each and then return to the group. You stay in the center and don't leave the formation thinking about what just happened. You don't see your mother for 3 days. She returns on the 4th, her body covered in scrapes, blood slipping down her side. Her movements are slow and uneven. She doesn't look at anyone, and she doesn't make a sound. She just finds her place and keeps swimming forward. You fall in beside her and stay there. Skip forward a bit and you're 1 year old now. You've started to hunt, but not because you're hungry and in need of food. You just do it for fun. You follow your mother through shallow water until she speeds up and moves towards a group of fish. You break away from her side and chase one of the smaller fish that splits from the group. She turns in from the opposite direction and cuts it off before it escapes. You both move without needing to look. She speeds up and you slow down. She feints one way and you block the other. The fish jolts every time one of you moves, trapped in a loop it can't break, and that's when the fun begins. The fish darts forward and cuts left, but you stay on it, matching its path and pushing it toward open space where it can't turn back. You hold position on one side while your mother comes in on the other, forcing it into a trap. It twists and tries to slip through a gap, but you press in and close it off. You lunge first and tear off a piece near the gill, and your mother follows with a deeper bite through the middle. You both turn and strike again, hitting the same spots over and over until the fish stops resisting. Its muscles twitch, then it floats, and you swim away without finishing it. You chase down another one on your own, closing the distance fast and pinning it near the surface where it can't dive. You block it from above, cut its path below, and wait for it to wear itself out. When it slows down, you grab it and hold it still. You don't eat it, you just want to feel it thrash. Then something moves near your tail. Another dolphin closes in fast from the right, coming close enough that your bodies almost touch. You tighten your grip on the fish and turn sharply across his path. He follows for a moment, but you hold your line and don't let him get close again. He backs off and turns away. You let the fish drop and watch him swim off. You don't follow, and instead you dive and chase something smaller, just to see if you can catch it. And when you do, you let it go again without biting. You're not hunting because you need to. You're doing it because you figured out how. You're 5 years old when you decide to leave your mother's group. For the past few years, you've been spending more and more time on your own, drifting away during hunts, swimming further than you should, and now it just feels like the right time to stop going back. You swim for a few hours, following nothing, until you spot a group of juveniles moving together across open water. You fall in beside them and match their pace, and when no one pushes you away, you stay. 3 of them stand out. They break off from the group without saying anything, so you follow them, keeping just behind as they swim across a flat stretch of ocean. That's when you bond. You find a pufferfish and one of them stuns it. You move in and let it sting you. The effect hits almost instantly, so you back off and pass it on. One of your buddies bites it next and starts spinning, clicking, and drifting in circles. You all take turns with it until the high fades and the feeling's gone. Then you kill it and go looking for more. But this time, one of the dolphins hangs back. He doesn't bite. He just watches from a distance. You echo at him loudly, pushing him to join in. When he still doesn't move, your friend rams into his side and knocks him off balance, spinning him around. You laugh and swim off without waiting. He drifts behind for a while, then turns the other way and disappears. You don't see him anymore again. It's just the 3 of you now. And from that point on, you don't swim alone anymore. You're 10 years old now, and you're still moving with the same 2 males you bonded with years ago. You've grown stronger, faster, and more coordinated. The 3 of you move like one body now, reacting before the others even need to signal. You begin searching for something else, a female to follow. You swim until one drifts into view, alone and slightly behind the others. She's moving slow enough to make herself an easy target. Your group shifts position without communicating. One moves to the left, one cuts to the right, and you stay behind. She notices and picks up speed, but the formation holds. Every path she tests is already blocked before she even tries. She dives, and your friend drops with her. She spins, and you match the movement. She swims up toward the surface and finds one of you already waiting. No matter which way she moves, someone is there before she gets the chance. You don't touch her, you just follow, always close enough to force a reaction but never far enough to give her space. Every time she slows, the gap tightens. You take turns keeping pressure on her, one behind, one to each side, always rotating and adjusting. The sun rises and drops again. The group rests, but she doesn't. Even when the ocean calms and the current slows, you keep pressing in. She tries to stop once, just for a breath, but your friend cuts across her path and she keeps moving. It goes on for hours. You've seen others do it. You've watched the way older groups hunt in teams, not just for food but for control. You've watched and learned, and now the roles are reversed. Now you're the ones being watched. You're 15 years old now, and you've learned that sometimes it's not about the female and it's not about the chase. It's about reminding everyone that you're still a menace. You see a group ahead of you, all males, surrounding a single female who's bigger than most. She spins slowly and keeps her head down while they circle her, flashing their sides and clicking fast like they're competing. You weren't invited, but that doesn't matter. You don't care about her. You care that they think they're in control. You aim for the one nearest the edge and slam your head into his side hard enough to flip him over. His skin tears along the ribs and a long red line opens up across his side. He swims away and sinks into the deep. The others stop spinning and break formation. One of them charges at your shoulder and knocks you off angle. Another comes from behind and clips your spine with his jaw. You spin to strike back, but you can't land a clean hit. You fight harder than you need to, just to drag it out. You take the hits and you give a few back. Then you twist low, dive beneath them, and pull out of the chaos with scratches along your tail and 2 fresh scars. You leave the fight without winning, but you don't feel like you lost. The next day, you're still sore when you hear something small moving near the rocks, so you go to check. It's a porpoise calf, young enough that it doesn't know what you are. You echo once, just to see how it reacts, then you charge. It doesn't scream. It just takes the hit full force and goes limp. You grab it once, bite down hard enough to feel the bones snap, then let it sink. You don't eat it, and you don't look back. You just swim off and leave it there. And for the first time since the fight, you feel better. You're 25 years old now. You've killed calves, chased rivals, torn open bellies, and circled bodies that stopped moving hours before anyone noticed. But you've never tried a human. You see a group near the surface, splashing around in a way that doesn't make sense. One of them drifts too far from the rest, too far to get pulled back in time if something were to happen. So you circle. Once from below, once from the side, a little closer each time until they pause and look around. But it's already too late because you've decided. You circle until a narrow gap appears, and then you swim straight in without thinking, just acting before the moment disappears. You bump their leg to see what they'll do. They start screaming and panicking, so you pass underneath them and roll once. Then rise up fast, clamp your jaw around their waist, and drag them down. They fight and kick at your head, but you don't let go. The more they panic, the deeper you pull them. You hold steady while their arms flail, and the last burst of air slips from their mouth in a string of bubbles that drift back toward the surface. They manage to twist free, but only for a second. You grab their foot, drag again, and this time they stop fighting. Then you let go. They shoot upward and scream before they break the surface. The rest of the group rushes in, pulling them toward the boat while shouting in sounds that don't make any sense to you. You watch from below the surface as they panic and swim away faster than they ever did before. Next time, you won't let go. Skip forward a bit, and you're 29 years old. You see boats in the distance, lined up in a way that doesn't feel right. You followed them before and it's always meant food, so your group follows them without thinking. Nothing feels off until the clicks start to thin. One of the dolphins beside you drifts to the edge and disappears. Then another cuts downward and doesn't return. You echo once and hear only emptiness. You echo again and the reply comes back wrong. You swim forward and see the water ahead is red. You turn and try to leave, but the way out is already gone. The boats behind you have moved. The surface breaks and something crashes into the sea. You dive fast, trying to cut beneath it, but a net tightens around your belly and pulls your body sideways. You kick your tail against the rope, but it only gets tighter. Then you get pulled up. A hand grabs your back. You spin and knock one away, but another catches you from behind. You slam into the deck of the boat and the sound disappears. They drag you to the edge and pull you off. Your body hits the beach. You try to slide back into the water, but your flippers dig in and hold you still. You lie there waiting to breathe. Then they cut you open. You feel it once, then nothing. They call it tradition, and after you stop moving, they kill the rest, one by one, all the way to the end. Over the next few days, 1,500 more of your kind will die. That was the dolphin. Next is the false killer whale. You are born into a brutal world where even your massive family is constantly hunted by true killer whales. You slide into the water after almost 16 months inside your mother. Before you even know what's happening, she turns around and swims away, forcing you to follow so you learn to swim instantly. You press close behind her tail, copying every movement until your body holds steady in the current. She guides you toward 2 other females, and you slip into their path because staying with them keeps you shielded from predators. Up ahead, a male surges after a mahi-mahi. He twists his body and snaps at the fish's tail, but the mahi-mahi jerks sideways, then bolts the other way. Your mother and the other females join the chase in order to cut across to block it. You push harder to keep close, but you struggle and can't keep up. The mahi-mahi bursts from the surface, then dives straight down and slams against your side, spinning you backward. You start sinking, rolling sideways as the water grows darker with every meter. You try to kick your tail, but your body won't rotate, and the pod above is pulling farther away every second as they chase the fish. Below, a shape moves against the dim water. An oceanic white-tip shark tilts upward and locks onto you. For the shark, a calf drifting alone is the easiest meal in the open sea. It spreads its fins to steady itself and begins to climb, slowly closing the distance. It angles straight at your belly with its mouth parting wider as it prepares to strike. Above, the male clamps his jaws into the mahi-mahi's midsection and thrashes until the fish stops moving. Your mother and another female break from the chase and drive down in a line, finally coming to help you. The shark swerves aside at the last moment. The adult false killer whales can break its jaw with one strike, so it doesn't take a risk and glides back into the dark. Your mother slides beneath you and lifts with her back until you rise again. The females press you into the pod's circle where the adults close ranks around you. You stay inside their shield for now, but soon she will push you to chase prey yourself. Skip forward a bit and you're 2 weeks old now. Your mother pulls ahead of the pod with a quick flick of her tail, forcing you to follow as she begins your first real hunt. She slows her pace and sends bursts of clicks into the water, scanning until a small school of mackerel takes shape ahead. With one turn, she speeds up and angles toward them, guiding the fish straight in your direction so you can join in. You match her movements, swinging your body hard to cut off any that try to slip away. From the side, a group of bottlenose dolphins swims in and surrounds the edges of the school. They're hunting the same fish, but instead of driving you off, they push tighter around the edges until the mackerel bunch into a single ball. Your mother angles back and drives the fish straight at you, snapping her clicks louder and sharper. You charge forward and slam your jaws shut around one. The scales slide in your mouth as the fish thrashes to break free, but you hold tight and gulp it down whole. It's the first time you've taken a catch by yourself. You stay in place as the rest of the fish scatter into open water. The dolphins circle once more and roll onto their sides as they pass close, flashing their bellies. You twist to match them, copying their turns and spins. You do this because playing with them will teach you how to move with more control. Your mother trails just behind, letting you practice without stepping in. When the dolphins finally peel away and vanish into the distance, you fall back to her side and return to the pod. You already know the hunts ahead will demand even more from you, so you need to prepare until then. You're 6 months old now. The pod is spread out and each whale clicks into the water searching for food. Your mother stiffens and turns around. She found something. Below, a juvenile silky shark is swimming alone. It's small enough to hunt, so she clicks sharply and you swim with her into deeper water. The shark senses the sound and starts swimming faster. 2 other whales close in from the sides to block it. The shark twists sharply and bolts upward. You push hard after it, but it bends sideways at the last moment and slides between the 2 whales. One of them cuts across, but the shark folds its body and dives under her belly, so you swing down with your mother, driving after it into the dark. The shark bursts forward in short sprints, each one forcing you to lunge, but every time it slips just out of reach. You angle across its path and snap your jaws, but the shark whips its tail and shoots past your flank. It climbs again toward the lighter water above. You rise with it, almost on its tail. For a moment you think you'll catch it, but it flips sideways and spirals straight down. You twist to follow, rolling hard until your body steadies. Your mother angles down ahead trying to cut it off, but the shark swerves left at the last second, scraping her side as it escapes. You lunge again and close the gap, but when you strike, you only grab empty water. The 3 whales regroup and drive harder, boxing it in tight. You surge from below while your mother presses from above. For 1 second, the shark is trapped, turning side to side with nowhere to go. But then, it bursts forward again into the open space and it slips away. You chase as far as you can with your tail beating until your muscles burn, but the shark keeps pulling ahead. The distance grows, and finally it fades into the dark water and doesn't return. You circle once with the others, still hungry. Then your mother turns back toward the pod. Today the shark got away, but you won't give up. You'll look for it over the next few days until you catch it. Skip forward again, and you're 2 years old now. The pod swims along the edge of a reef when your mother slows down. You feel faint vibrations in the water, splashes, and the steady noise of boat engines grow stronger. You follow as the pod turns toward the sound. Ahead, a large fishing boat sits still with a wide net hanging behind it. Inside the net, dozens of fish thrash and strike the ropes. Tuna, mahi-mahi, and schools of smaller fish all push against the mesh trying to get out. The adults spread out. One male rushes forward and slams his head into the side of the net. The whole wall shakes, but the fish stay trapped. Another female swims low and bites into a seam. She pulls until the ropes stretch and fibers snap. Your mother clicks at you to stay close and watch. The adults circle and strike again. More fibers break, and the hole starts to open. Then the fish burst out. The whales surge forward, biting down and swallowing prey before they can escape. You see a tuna break away and swim for deeper water. You kick hard and chase it. You clamp your jaws on its tail, slide forward, and bite down on the middle of its body. The fish thrashes, but you shake until it weakens. Then you gulp it down whole. It's the first time you've caught something this big without help. Above, the ship pulls the net back to the boat, but half of the catch is already gone. The pod swims back to a safe distance, still eating as they move. You swim beside your mother with your stomach full for the first time in days. You are still learning now, but soon, you will have to lead the hunts yourself. You're 8 years old now. You swim ahead with an older male scouting for food. The water feels calm until a shadow drifts under you. It's long and black. 5 orcas rise from below, spreading out to block your path. 2 hang back and 3 push forward, being sure that they only need a few to take you down. You and the male don't run. Instead, you turn around and face them head on. Then the first orca charges. You roll aside and snap your jaws, clamping onto its fin. You twist hard until flesh tears loose. The orca thrashes and pulls back, leaving a trail of blood. The second orca slams into your ribs. The hit spins you end over end. Before it can grab hold, the male drives in from the side and rams his jaws into the attacker's flank. The orca jerks away, leaving space for you to recover. For a moment, it feels even, 2 against 3. You regroup, rush forward together, and drive one orca down toward the dark below. Then the last 2 finally move. They surge from behind, and suddenly it's 5 against 2. They circle fast and close, flashing teeth as they tighten the ring. You know if you stay and fight, you're gonna die, so you twist hard and break away, swimming for the open ocean. The other male hesitates and doesn't move. You glance back once, and he's fully surrounded. One orca slams him from above and another from below. A cloud of red spreads out as he vanishes into the pack. You don't turn back. You swim until the water falls silent behind you. When you return to the pod, you're alone, and now you know that one mistake against orcas means no second chance. Skip forward, and you're 15 years old now. You're almost fully grown, hunting with more confidence at your mother's side. From below, a shadow rises. It's the same silky shark that you tried to kill when it was a juvenile. It's much bigger and heavier now. It bursts upward, scattering fish as it charges. You and the pod close in tight, but the shark doesn't come for you. It slams straight into your mother. Its teeth drive into her side. She twists hard, but blood spills out in a thick stream. You ram its back and bite deep into its skin. The shark thrashes, but it doesn't let go. Your mother wrenches free, but she's bleeding badly. The shark circles wide, then cuts low, aiming at her belly. You surge forward with another adult at your flank. Both of you smash into it from either side. Your jaws lock onto its fin. You bite harder than ever before, and the fin tears loose in your mouth. The other adult bites into its gills and shakes. You twist hard until the shark's side splits open. The fight ends in seconds. The shark hangs limp, sinking into the deep, fully dead. But your mother is sinking too. Her blood trails in the water as she drifts down. You dive after her and press against her body, trying to lift her like she did when you were a calf. But she doesn't move. The pod circles around, mourning her death. The shark is gone, but so is the one who first taught you to swim. You're 25 years old now. You're stronger and leading hunts alongside the other adults. The pod follows a warm current where tuna gather often. Ahead, you spot hundreds of them packed into a dense school. But another pod of false killer whales has already found them and is driving the fish toward the surface. Your group pushes forward and splits into 2 lines. Rival encounters like this do not happen often, but prey this size is worth the fight. The other pod cuts across, trying to block you out. You drive straight into their formation and snap at a male's flank until he jerks away and leaves a gap for your pod to push through. Behind you, 2 females chase strays that break from the school so the rival pod cannot take them. The tuna explode upward and scatter in every direction. You swim into the chaos and clamp your jaws on a tuna almost as long as your own body. It beats its tail against your side, but you crush it harder until it stops moving. Another male in your pod rams the edge of the school and knocks several tuna into the open water. The rest of your pod charges in, biting and tearing until the water fills with blood. The rival pod pulls away. They are outnumbered and outpaced, so you rip thick pieces from your catch and swallow them whole as the others do the same. For once, the ocean feels like it belongs to you, but you already know that the larger the hunt becomes, the sooner you'll meet something you can't compete with. Skip forward a bit, and you're 45 years old now. You swim near the surface with the pod, not chasing anything, just moving steady through the water. Then a wahoo breaks from the shadows ahead. You did not expect it, but a free meal is in front of you, so you turn and chase. Your body pushes faster as you close the distance. The fish drives forward and pulls you toward shallow water. The bottom rises quickly. The wahoo cuts tight around a jagged rock outcrop and hugs the edge. You try to follow, but your size and speed lock you into the path. You cannot turn in time. Your head slams straight into the rock. The impact cracks your skull in one strike. Your body drifts sideways and air leaks from your mouth in a stream of bubbles. The wahoo slips into open water untouched. The pod keeps swimming forward with the hunt. They never saw you break off, and they may never know where you fell. That was the false killer whale. Finally, meet the dragonfish, where your only defense is a lure in the void. You hatch from an egg, somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Dozens of siblings hatch around you, all transparent and drifting upward through the water, with the current pushing them toward lighter layers above. Your body is see-through with no teeth yet, and no light organs. Just a soft, larval form that rotates slowly as you rise. One of your siblings drifts too close to a jellyfish tentacle, and the stingers fire instantly, making its body go stiff before it sinks out of view. You need to avoid anything that moves like that, so you angle your body slightly and let the current carry you away from the jellyfish's trail. Then something wraps around your midsection. It's a strand of mucus from a salp chain drifting past, sticky and thin but strong enough to hold you in place. You twist your body and pull, trying to break free, but the strand stretches without snapping. Your tail flicks once, then again, and the mucus finally tears loose, leaving you spinning sideways through the water before you steady yourself. A small fish larva swims past you, snapping at plankton with quick, controlled movements. You can't do that yet. Your jaw isn't formed enough and your muscles are too weak to chase anything, so you just drift, mouth opening and closing on reflex but catching almost nothing. That's when something larger rises beneath you. A small squid, translucent like you, but with tentacles spread wide, moving upward through the same column of water. You stop moving entirely, holding your body as still as possible. The squid passes a few body lengths away, its eyes scanning the water but not locking onto you. Your transparent skin keeps you hidden. You continue rising with the current, reaching the upper layers where the water is brighter and food drifts more thickly. You're helpless for now, but your body is already changing. Skip forward a bit, and you're a few weeks old now. Your jaw has grown longer with tiny teeth starting to form along the edges, and your body is still transparent but slightly bigger than before. You're drifting in the twilight zone where the water above you glows faintly and your stomach is empty, so you need to find food. That's when you spot something, a copepod drifting a few body lengths away, small enough to swallow, but fast enough to escape if you're not careful. You need to catch it, so you push your tail and lunge forward with your jaws opening wide. But you miss completely, snapping at empty water while the copepod kicks away and disappears into the blue around you. You drift for a moment, then spot another one moving slowly through a cluster of marine snow. This time you approach more carefully, inching closer before striking, and your teeth clamp down on its body. You swallow it whole. That's your first real meal. The food gives you energy, so you start searching actively instead of just drifting and waiting. Then another larval dragonfish appears nearby, hunting in the same area as you. You both spot the same copepod at the same time and lunge together, making your jaws collide mid-strike. The other larva is slightly larger, and its mouth closes around the prey first, swallowing it while you're knocked backward and left with nothing. You sink lower, still hungry, and find another target near some drifting debris. This time you approach slowly and strike fast, catching it before anything else can interfere. You're learning to hunt now, but you're still in the upper layers where everything is visible and competition is constant. Soon, you'll need to go deeper where fewer predators can follow. You're 3 months old now, and your body looks different. Your skin has turned black instead of transparent, and small light organs have appeared along your belly in rows that glow faintly when you flex certain muscles. Your body has grown heavier too, so you start sinking naturally into deeper water, where the pressure builds around you but your body adjusts without any trouble. You drop past 200 meters, then 300, watching the blue above you fade as you go deeper into the mesopelagic zone. That's when you spot a hatchetfish drifting nearby, its body flat and covered in silver scales that reflect what little glow comes from above. You're hungry and it looks like prey, so you swim toward it and strike with your jaws opening wide. But your teeth just scrape across its reflective scales without breaking through, making the hatchetfish flash its belly lights in alarm before it darts straight up and disappears. You keep sinking, passing through layers of bioluminescent jellyfish that pulse with blue and green light as they drift in slow circles. Then a lanternfish swims past you with rows of lights blinking along its sides in patterns you don't understand yet. You try to follow it because it might lead you to food, but your swimming is still weak and you can't keep up, so it pulls away and vanishes into the water below. You reach 400 meters and stop sinking, holding yourself at this depth, where the water feels thicker and everything moves slower. Food is harder to find here, but the predators that chased you in the upper layers don't come down this far. Down here, the rules are different, because light doesn't come from above anymore. It comes from the creatures around you, and you'll need to learn how to use that. You're 6 months old, and something new has grown from your chin. A barbel hangs beneath your jaw with a glowing photophore at its tip that lights up when you flex the muscles around it. You need to figure out how to use it, so you hold your body completely still and dangle the light in front of your face, letting it glow steadily in the water. A small shrimp drifts toward you, drawn to the light like it's food or another creature. It swims closer, moving carefully but coming within range of your jaws. You wait until it's close enough, then snap forward with your elongated jaws, closing around its body and your teeth hooking inward to stop it from escaping. The shrimp thrashes for a moment, but your teeth hold it in place, so you swallow it head first. That's the first time your lure has worked. You try the technique again, waving the barbell slowly to make the light move like something alive. This time, a juvenile squid appears, swimming toward the glow with its tentacles spread wide. But it's too large and moving too fast for you to handle. So, when it gets close, it grabs your barbell with its tentacles and yanks hard. You jerk backward, trying to pull free, and the barbell tears slightly but doesn't break off completely. The squid releases you and jets away into the water, leaving you with a damaged lure that still glows but hurts when you move it. You sink lower, letting your body rest while the barbell heals over the next few days. You've learned that the lure brings prey closer, but it also reveals where you are to everything around you. Your lure works, but it also makes you a target, so you'll need to be more careful about what you attract and when you use it. You're 1 year old now, and you've grown to around 15 centimeters long. You've been hunting in the same area for weeks, a zone near a hydrothermal vent where shrimp and small fish gather because food drifts up from the mineral-rich water below. Then another dragonfish appears, drifting into your hunting ground with its barbell glowing as it searches for prey. You need to protect this territory because food is scarce everywhere else, so you flash your photophores along your sides in a warning pattern that tells it to leave. But the other dragonfish flashes back, matching your pattern, and doesn't turn away, so you both start circling each other slowly with your jaws opening wide to display the length of your teeth. The intruder moves closer, testing whether you'll back down, then suddenly lunges forward with its jaws snapping near your flank. You twist away just in time and counter with your own strike, scraping your teeth along its side but not deep enough to cause serious damage. The fight continues with both of you posturing and striking without fully committing, because a real injury could mean death down here where healing is slow. Then the other dragonfish's barbell glows brighter, trying to distract you or draw your attention away from its body. But you ignore the light and lunge again, this time connecting solidly with its shoulder and tearing through the skin. The intruder jerks back, then turns and swims away into deeper water, leaving a faint trail of blood that disperses quickly in the current. You return to your position near the vent, with wounds minor but present along your side. You've defended your ground, but the fight used up energy you can't afford to waste. You'll need to feed more often now to recover, and that means using your lure again despite the risks. You're 2 years old, and your body has reached full size at 20 centimeters long. Your fangs are fully developed now, curving inward like needles, and your bioluminescent organs run in neat rows along your belly and sides. You need to reproduce, so you start producing a chemical signal that spreads through the water, telling any females nearby that you're ready to mate. A few hours pass, then a female dragonfish appears from deeper water, larger than you by several centimeters. She's been drawn to your scent, so she flashes her photophores in a specific pattern, slow pulses that move from head to tail. You recognize it as a response signal, so you flash yours back, matching her rhythm exactly. She swims closer, circling you once to inspect your size and condition, then positions herself beside you with her body parallel to yours. You move alongside her, keeping pace as she adjusts her position. Then both of you release your reproductive cells into the water at the same time. The eggs and sperm mix in the current, fertilizing immediately before drifting away into the open water where they'll develop on their own. The female turns without any signal or acknowledgement and swims off into the depths, disappearing within seconds. The interaction is complete. You stay in the area for a moment, then your stomach reminds you that survival matters more than anything else down here. A small fish moves toward your barbell lure, drawn by the glow, so you hold still and let it come closer before striking. Your jaws close around it, and you swallow it whole, feeding like you always do. Your genes are drifting somewhere in the water now, but you'll never see what becomes of them. You've got bigger problems to worry about because down here, something is always hunting. You're 3 years old, and you're hunting near the seafloor at 800 meters depth. Your barbell glows steadily as you drift near a field of tube worms, waiting for prey to come investigate the light. Then a viperfish comes up from below, much larger than you with fangs twice the length of yours. It doesn't turn away from your lights like smaller fish do, so you realize too late that you've become the target instead of the hunter. The viperfish rises directly toward you with its mouth already opening wide, so you dart sideways and its teeth snap shut where you were a moment before. You need to escape, so you swim upward as fast as you can with your photophores flashing in panic. But the viperfish follows, faster and more powerful than you, closing the distance with each stroke. You dive suddenly into a dense cluster of marine snow and organic debris floating in the water, trying to hide yourself. The viperfish slows down, swimming through the cloud but unable to see you clearly through all the particles. You turn off all your lights and hold completely still while it searches nearby, its body passing within a body length of yours. After what feels like forever, it gives up and drops back down toward the seafloor where it came from. You drift away slowly, keeping your lights off and moving as little as possible until the viperfish is gone. You survived, but barely, and now you know that down here, you're not the only one with teeth and lights. You're 4 years old, and hunger drives you toward a new hunting ground deeper than you normally go. You've been feeding successfully for days in your usual territory, but the prey has become scarce, and you need to find more food. So you drop down to 1,000 meters where the pressure builds heavier around your body but doesn't slow you down. Your barbell glows as you drift through the water, dangling in front of you while you wait for something to approach. Then something tugs on it, not a bite but a pulling sensation that drags you sideways. You try to swim away, but your barbell is caught on something sharp sticking out from a dead fish carcass sinking past you through the water. You pull harder, thrashing your body to break free, but the barbell stays hooked on the spine. Your struggling sends vibrations through the water in every direction, and that attracts attention from below. A 6-gill shark rises slowly from deeper water, moving toward you with its body angled upward. You yank your barbell one more time and it tears partially free, ripping through the tissue but releasing you from the carcass. But it's too late because the shark is already closing the distance between you. You flash all your photophores at once, trying to distract it or make it turn away, But the shark doesn't rely on sight alone, so the lights don't matter. It accelerates suddenly, covering the remaining space in seconds. Then its jaws open wide and close around your entire body. The teeth punch through your sides from both directions, going deep into your organs and spine. Your lights flicker once, then go out completely.